And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, Puff Daddy, Diddy, he's going to the penitentiary to make big rocks to little. My. What's going on with that guy? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Robert De Niro going off the deep end on The View as per usual. We'll speak more about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, shout out to the Catholic NFL football player Harrison Butker, who triggered a lot of normies because of his speech at a college, at a commencement speech. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we're talking about this crazy video from the Kentucky bridge that shows dashcam footage of the truck driver almost going off the edge and plunging into the water below, into the Ohio River. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, David DePape, the guy who tried to allegedly delete Paul Pelosi, got 30 years in the penitentiary making big rocks to little. And the question that many of us have is, if that was a regular normie in San Francisco, would they get the same punishment? Would it be more? Would it be less? And there's quite a few more things to discuss on tonight. And we're going to get to everything in a little bit on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to you guys on the Facebook. I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm still trying to build that platform up, but you guys know how it is. So I thank you guys for being over there and supporting any way you can. I most certainly appreciate it. We got a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot happening. Puff Daddy, man, oh man. We're going to get to Puff in a little while, but I think that guy is toast. And I'm not surprised at the footage that came out. I mean, really, I think all of us, well, many of us, most of us saw that whole thing coming. The allegation in the lawsuits, with the Cassie one, the allegations there, I think everybody pretty much knew that was going to be, it was going to be published, and everybody knew that it was going to be real. It wasn't really a thing people were kind of like on the fence about, oh, is it real? Is it fake? Nah, I think it was pretty easy to determine that was going to be a real thing. But we're going to get to everything in a minute. Y'all hang tight, please. But if you like what you're hearing, if you enjoy the content, y'all give the video a thumbs up. Pardon me for looking over here. I'm trying to get everything situated for a little bit later. But we got a whole lot going on, a lot of videos to get through, a lot of things that I've not spoken about yet on the regular videos. But first things first, shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to you guys, of course, for watching the video. Could not do this without you guys. But then also shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or just go to patriotpost.us and tell them that ABL sent you. Also go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to anthonyblogan.com, my regular website. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. We have articles for each video that I produce, and in each article, I have sources from the left to the right and anywhere in between. You're independent, agnostic, politically, local, national, international, whatever you need, I got it. Full videos, anything that can be published legally, I'll put it right there on the website, anthonyblogan.com. Like the whole Puff Daddy video, obviously, I could not put all of it on YouTube. I could put some of it on YouTube, but not all of it. But all of it is available on the website, of course. And speaking about Puff Daddy, see, people are asking, hey, well, why did Cassie stay? His ex-girlfriend, why did she stay so long? Well, a lot of abuse victims stay with their abuser for a long time, but part of it is fear for leaving. Because understand this, he did that in the hotel lobby and didn't get in trouble. Like, he literally beat her up in the hotel lobby, and they saw it on the camera, and there was nothing that happened. The people that worked there didn't do anything. They had the surveillance footage. Allegedly, on the word on the street is he paid people $50,000 to not release the video. He paid to procure the video. It didn't get released. I don't know why it's coming out right now. Maybe the federales found that in his house. I have no idea, but this is what I'm talking about. He could do things and get away with it. The federales raided him in not one but two houses, and he's not locked up. Kid Cudi, another rapper, says that Puff had his car blown up in front of his house and nothing happened. Now, that's an allegation that Puff did that, but the car did in fact blow up. So who did it? See, this guy's kind of like untouchable, so it's a level of fear. I can't really go anywhere or do anything. I kind of held hostage, kind of like a slave, but I'm getting way too deep, way too early. So shout out to you guys. We're going to touch on that topic a little bit later. Shout out to you guys for being here. Really, really appreciate y'all. Y'all know what to do. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And of course, you guys go to the contact page of my website to find my contact information, my email address, snail mail address, my social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, never going to call it X, Instagram. All those things are right there on my website, anthonyblogan.com/contact. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if it's me you're conversing with on the interwebs or not, just cross-reference the email addresses. I have a very easy email address. It's contact@anthonyblogan.com. I'm not going to email you normally directly. I'm not going to just hit you up randomly in the YouTube comment like, hey, contact me on some 1,000 digit WhatsApp number and give me some money. I'll give it back to you. Send me an Apple iTunes gift card. I'm never going to do that. If you want to contribute to me, if you want to help me, there's a website, anthonyblogan.com. I have ways to contribute there. In my videos, there's a description section. There's links already right there. I will never put anything in the comment section as a reply to one of you guys' comment talking about contact me directly, okay? And then if you talk to somebody on the phone and they sound like this on their phone, it is not to me, I promise this. I swear to God, it's not to me. And I swear to God, I beg you, it's not to me. If you sound like that, or if it sounds like if it does, it does. This is ABL. It's not anyone else. I promise, my friend. I promise it's not anyone else. It's ABL. It's not me. You know my voice. It's very distinct. Okay? It's very distinct. You know how I sound. And you know the best way to figure out if it's me or not? Just get me on the call. You see me right here. I'm like right live in full color. AI could never. Nigerian scammers could never. Lithuanian guys weighing 1 million pounds covered in borched from head to toe could never duplicate the way I talk. All right. So the point is, don't get scammed. It's 2024. Don't nobody got no time for that. We're trying to save every single penny that we can. We don't have time for the scammers. All right. Yeah. Shaquille Oatmeal says ABL doesn't give refunds for being duped. Donate with caution. Poor people don't get scammed. Yeah. So don't do it. Don't get scammed. Keep all your money. And, you know, if you email me talking about some, well, I thought I could trust you. You scammed me. I didn't scam you. That was Igor, Boris, or some guy living in a Nigerian village with 45 consonants in his first name. Okay. I promise it's not me. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot going on, a whole lot of videos to cover. We have some debates coming up between Trump and Biden. You guys know Biden agreed to having 2 debates. One, I think it's in June. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's on June 27th, and the other one on September the 10th. Now, it's supposed to be 3. There's a commission that organizes the debates between the incumbent and the challenger, and they always have 3 quote unquote meetings in the fall, but it's only going to be 2. I don't know why they cut one. Well, as I said before, I think Joe Biden knows that he can't really stand up too much. You know, he's pretty much like just he's not there, and everybody really knows it. They might try to put some drugs on him and make him kind of stand there and just be like silent, but still at the same time talking. There's a video floating around. It's an older video of Joe Biden, but this is what they might want to do to him, okay? If you've not seen this video, this is from a while ago. This is from, when is this? 2022? Yeah, 2022 video, but they might want to do this to Biden because if they don't do this, then they're not really going to have much to hang their hat on. Let's go ahead and play it. And every time I see Joe Biden speak, when he's in front of a camera, he looks different. It's like, okay, did they put a chin implant in his face? Is he on some kind of drugs? Did they shoot his forehead up? Like, what is going on? As I said before, this kind of reminds me of Men in Black, where the guy had on the roach suit. That's kind of how Joe Biden reminds me of. Like, he kind of looks like that. Okay, let's check it out.
You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation should never forget that. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act. The brave women and men in blue all across this nation.
I don't know what they put in this man back then, back in 2022. I don't know what they put in this man, but it was something. It was something that had this man looking a complete, scary, crazy mess. So maybe when the debates come around, they might want to do that again. All right. They may have no other choice, because if he's going to be up there, Sleepy Joe, sleepy, creepy, stumbling and bumbling, that's not going to be very good. That's not going to be a very good look. All right. Yeah. John Biden, pretty much. Now, this is 100% real. Somebody said it's fake. Nah, it's real. Look, this is on the Democrats' page. I'm right here. This is their page. Okay. And this is from 2022, July 6, 2022. This is him. And then the caption is, you can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. So this is their official page. 2.3 million followers, verified. Yeah. So Democrats went and posted a fake video of Joe Biden. And when that came out, I remember it very well. So if you mean fake as far as it's not really Joe Biden, well, hey, I'm not going to say that it's a fake Joe Biden. I'm not going to say that the guy that we see is occasionally not the guy that we think it is. I'm never going to say that. I'm never going to say he has body doubles or duplicates or lookalikes or clones or holograms or CGI. I'm never going to say that, but I'm saying it has been said before. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say is that it has been said before. All right. So this guy right here thinks that Biden set Trump up for a trap when it comes to debates. And I've heard this before from other people. Let's check it out. This guy might be stone cold stomp down leftist, but I've heard this from conservatives as well. But maybe not in the same way that this guy's going to explain it. And RIP to the headphone users in advance.
President Biden set a trap for Donald Trump, and Donald Trump fell right into it. If you missed it, we have presidential debates scheduled. The first is June 27th, and the second is September 10th. And because President Biden was able to outsmart Donald Trump throughout the whole negotiation, the debates are going to be held under the terms that President Biden wants. And there are three very key things. The last will be the most important. First, there will be no crowds. It is just going to be the candidates, the moderator, the issues, the facts, and their plans to help America. 2, mics will be cut off, which is huge because Donald Trump's only debate strategy is to interrupt somebody, is to constantly bluster, to talk over anybody or try to interrupt them at any chance he can. And last and most important, note the date of the very first debate, June 27th. This will come right off the heels of the hush money trial. Win or lose, Donald Trump is going to be focused on that trial instead of the issues that are being discussed during the debate. He has just been outsmarted by President Biden, and I'm here for it.
All righty. So, my man, there's a lot. First of all, to guys that want to speak, people always ask me, hey, ABL, how can I be a content creator? How can I start a channel? How can I get on and do what you do? Well, one thing about it is try being hydrated before you speak. Try drinking water rather than coffee all day. Water, I promise, is a good thing. H2O, just drink some, okay? Go outside when it's raining and open your mouth. And let the water just pour on in, okay? Get some water in your system. I don't know if you got coffee, sugar, soy, whatever you got in your bloodstream. Please get some actual water. Maybe you need some lip chap. Hey, I got lip chap. I have like a whole drawer full of lip chap. Like, you got to have it because you don't want to be on camera like a goat or a giraffe or a sheep, just a horse. But we don't got time for that. Anyway, that was way off topic, but I just wanted to address that because he was getting on my nerves. But is it a trap? Is it a trap? Do you think that this is going to benefit Joe Biden? Will it benefit Donald Trump? Will it benefit both? Will it benefit the American people? Who do you think this benefits more? I think that it'll be good for the country because I was hoping that we have a debate between Trump and Biden, but I figured Biden would try to get out of it because Trump did not debate during the primary against everybody who was not going to win. It was a foregone conclusion, really. At that point, the debates on the Republican side, it was between who was going to be the runner-up. That's all. And maybe it was a VP audition. That's pretty much all that it was. All right. Now, this is going to be very interesting. I've seen some of this. This is a street interview, and I think my man, Nick Shirley. Shout out to Nick Shirley. This is his page. All right. You guys follow him on Twitter. He's asking Harvard students who are they going to vote for. Now, before we begin, who do you think they're going to say? Who do you think is going to be their pick for president? Again, we're at Harvard. Harvard.
Who will you be voting for?
We'll have to wait and see. It's a little down the line.
Okay.
Just kidding. I'm voting for Biden. If it's a Biden-Trump matchup, then I'd be voting for Biden, yeah.
What would make you want to vote for Joe Biden versus a person like Donald Trump?
I can't even begin to list the reasons. It's that extensive.
Can I get 3 of them?
Sure. He aligns with my values more. He's more pro-democracy, and I think he's a better person.
Okay. And with policies, anything like that?
He aligns with my policies generally across the board.
What are your policies?
All right, this is where we're hitting past the minute point. I got to run. Sorry.
Wow, really? Like, why so, you know what I'm saying? Look, if it's me, now I know Howdy Doody here might be a little bit, Dennis and Menace might be a little bit like kind of offended. If it's me and you ask me, hey, why do you want to vote for Trump? Give me some policies. I sit there, I'll talk you to death. I'll talk to you to the point where you're getting ready to be tired. Like, hey, ABL, you don't have any more battery in the microphone, the cell phone. We need to go get a spare battery. I'll talk you to death. My man right here been talking for all of 30 seconds and is ready to go ahead and call it a quit. Okay, he's ready to call it quits. Howdy Doody, Dennis the Menace, okay, the Rugrats, Chucky from the Rugrats is ready to call it quits.
10 more seconds.
All right, I'm sorry, but I'm cutting this short.
Who do you think would be best to become the future leader of America in this year and with elections?
In terms of this election, I will be personally voting for Joe Biden.
Okay, and why so?
I think in terms of just keeping the rule of law and the state of our constitutional democracy, he's the best option.
Who are you going to be voting for?
Biden.
And why so?
Voted for him last year. I don't agree with some of Trump's policies, so that's why.
Okay. And what policies would it be that you don't agree with?
Now, shout out to my man, Nick. If I was Nick, I would say, okay, if you voted for Biden last time, do you think he did a good job? Did he follow through on his promises? The whole student loan kerfuffle? How about the inflation of goods, services, food, housing, shelter, everything? Do you think he's done a good job as it relates to that? And who was better? Do you think things are better under Trump or Biden? That'd be my question to her.
With
some environmental stuff. I hated the Willow Act or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that is some Harvard students giving their very, very confident opinion about who they want to vote for. And of course, no surprise there. Okay. All white liberals all say we're voting for Biden. We're riding with Biden. Now, I hope that these young people, when they get to be a little bit older, change their minds. Hopefully they have their minds. Hopefully they wouldn't be like that right now, but it's Harvard. I mean, what are you going to expect? All these Ivy Leagues, I mean, that's kind of what's going on. People are acting the fool at these Ivy League colleges. You know, it's been a whole big mess. Okay, and as a matter of fact, hold on. Yeah, I got a lot more from the Ivy Leagues in a minute. Matter of fact, I kind of want to go there right now. I got some things queued up. I'm not sure this is an Ivy League. I don't think it is. But it's probably a pretty expensive school, probably a good school. This is Washington. And check it out. Now, I'm not sure if this is University of Washington as in Washington State or Washington as in Washington, D.C. Probably Washington State. But anyway, check it out. We have some really interesting characters. Somebody appears to be barefoot outside. Listen, if I run up on you and you're not wearing any socks or shoes outside, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and leave you alone because I know something is not all the way ticking. Now, if you're out in the country somewhere, it's a little bit different. But if, let's say you're in Seattle, Washington, and you walking outside on the street on the concrete with no shoes on, I mean, you're going to have all kind of glass and debris and human waste and needles and a little bit of everything on the ground. You living out in Washington State, Seattle, free out of Washington, Portland, Oregon, Los Angeles, I would suggest wearing combat boots or some sort of steel-toe situation if you're going to be outside on the street, let alone barefoot. Are you seeing this right here? The young lady with the multicolored pants on is not wearing any socks or shoes. Anyway, let's hear and see what's happening.
Look at this guy.
Dude, are you on drugs or something?
Look at this guy. Look at this motherfucker. Hey.
Dude, are you on drugs? Hi.
Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Rick.
I'm glad you like Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty. Who are you here with?
I'm with Fox 13.
Fox who?
Fox 13, Channel 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, kind of why we're asking you not to film?
Yes, and honestly, I don't care because this is a public space. It's a newsworthy event, and I have a right, just like she has a right to record me because I'm in a public space. Mm-hmm. So it's a news thing. I have a right to record. And
you don't care that you could be putting people in danger?
How is it any more danger than her recording me?
I mean,
How are you being put in danger right now?
Because there are people who are actively trying to dox folks at this camp. It's already happened.
So you understand that you're going to a public event, a public protest, an ongoing public protest, that you want to get your message out, but then you don't want anyone to record that. You understand how kind of absurd that is?
I mean,
makes no sense. You know, this is like a dad talking to his daughter. And these people are adults, but a lot of them are very infantile. You know, these people, 19, 20, 21 years old, act like children, like little kids. It's really crazy. I've seen that quite a bit. You have fully grown adults that act like children.
We're not stopping anyone from recording. We're just asking you don't get people's faces. And you are.
Look, I'm shooting. It would help if he didn't come right up to me.
Right.
I'm from here. I'm shooting the scene.
Have you?
Exactly. Okay, don't get our faces, but we're going to get right up on you. We're going to come to you to get our faces right in the shot and have an interview, but we don't want to get recorded, although we're outside in public. Okie dokie.
You talked to our media team?
I don't need to.
I mean, it's a helpful thing. That's why they're there.
I'm just here to get footage. I'm not here to do any interviews. It's just, hey, it's Wednesday. It's still here.
To our media team, I'm
not
sure
really.
They're very happy to help you with that.
I'm going to shoot footage. I am going to shoot footage, and then I'm going to leave. And I don't need to talk to anyone because I'm not here to do interviews today. It's still here.
Just like you're allowed to record in public places, we're allowed to stop you from recording.
No, you're not. You're actually not. RCW 9A.
RCW 984. Fuck you.
There is a statute that says you cannot interfere with other people's.
You can't
interfere because the so-called sacred law, sir. The good old sacred law.
Philip. Don't forget Philip. Don't forget Philip, sir.
We have someone named Philip you must listen to. Philip, do you know Philip? Do you know Philip, sir?
These people are so weird. It's like they literally like little children. That's what you would do if you're like 5 years old messing with your older brother or something like that. Not to be, 25 or however old these people are. They're like little kids. Yeah, and then the thing about it is you go into this school, you're wasting time. And I feel like at a certain point, it's like you're being babysat. Now, here we go with the crazy teacher. There was somebody on my Facebook right now that was triggered. As soon as I came on my stream, they started talking about this lady right here. We about to show. This lady right here, this is a professor at UC Irvine out there. What's that? Orange County, California, Southern California. This lady is not alone as far as being a nut job professor. These professors and the so-called kids, the adults, the students, are working together to make these campuses a really crazy place. And at the same time, what's funny is that the banks, the federales and the banks laughing all the way to the bank. Federal loans were probably one of the worst things to ever happen. One of the worst things, because the thing about these federal loans, anyone can go to school for the most part. All you got to do is be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. If you can walk, chew gum, use ChatGPT, you can get into these schools and it's no problem. Maybe if you're an Asian person, you might not be able to go because you're too smart and too Asian, but different story, I digress. It don't really take much. So you got all kind of ne'er-do-wells, people that can barely read. Oh, you know what? I'm going to show you this video, but then there was another one of students under the age. Nah, it wasn't even students. It was people, just regular people under age 25 trying to write in cursive. But first things first, nut job teacher, professor, pardon me. And in advance, RIP to the headphone users.
Thousands of students could have been able to go to school and have books and have housing. But instead, our chancellor, who is a very cruel man, decided to send thousands of dollars worth of state funding paid for by the taxpayers into the trash.
Are you concerned about this jeopardizing your job?
For real. What job do I have if the students don't have a future? Thousands of students could have been able.
I mean, like, this is what's going on. I mean, really? What are we even talking about? Why? What is really happening at these colleges that requires all this jazz? You see this face? It's like, ma'am, are you even okay? What is the problem? And as I've always said, if there's an issue with your college, why go there? You're literally having a mortgage on your back at the end of your tenure there, or your parents are paying. Oh my goodness. If you guys like a Jerry Seinfeld sending his kids to Duke University. Hold on. Let me see the tuition for Duke. Okay. Now, undergrad total cost is $82,000 a year. And is that out of state? Hold on. I think out of state I think it's out of state. 82 grand a year. $82,000 a year. So at the end of it, you have $333,000 for a 4-year undergrad, not even your post grad, master's, undergrad. $333,000. That's enough for a house, or maybe it was for 2019, but different story. I digress. Okay, a little bit more. You got my house, and you have all this jazz going on. Why? All that debt is crazy. And you guys, like I said, Jerry Seinfeld spending the equivalent of a house on 2 kids, a house each to go to Duke, and he gets booed off stage because he's Jewish. That's crazy. That's totally crazy. But you know what's crazier is the state of education. And I want to play this video right here because this one is pretty important. Okay, so they're asking students under the age of 25 to write baseball in cursive. Now, how do you think this is going to go? Is it going to be a good look, bad look? What's your opinion about how this is going to go? Yeah, Jerry can afford it, but that's not even the point. The point is that, yes, he can afford it, but it's a principle. Just because I can spend 300 grand on education does not mean that it's a good idea if my students, my kids are being indoctrinated, if the students there hate me and the school is not doing anything to prevent what happened from happening. But check it out. All right. Do we have music? Okay. I think it'd be all right, though. So check this out. Again, the caption asking people 25 and under to write the word baseball in cursive. Baseball. Now, what in the world was that? Like, what is that? Hold on. I got to zoom in a little bit here. Okay. What is this? What does that say? That looks like it says, forget about it in Italian. Oh my goodness. This person right here is just drawing random things. The S we drew back in the day. Wow. What is, and he's, again, the word is baseball. Baseball in cursive. Now, that person kind of is a little bit close, but she can't actually loop the B's. She can't loop the B's in the word. She has like L's rather than B's. So that's close, but not quite. If I was to do that when I learned cursive in elementary school, it definitely would be a fail. Oh, man. My man right here is picking the pen or the marker up after each character. So you know that's wrong. Wow. What? Sir, you might as well just try to write in print because that's what that is. But that's not even, that looks like the way I would write when I was about 3 years old. Okay. Writing backwards, P's and B's and stuff like that. That's what it looks like right there. Wow, that's crazy. You have no sense of the scale of the words. Like there's no more paper with the lines on it. Remember you had the lines on the paper, like the notebook paper, or had the lines in the center. You had the lines that you would write your words on, and then there was like a dotted line in the center of each space, so you knew where to get the loops of your B's and your A's and your S's and the E's and everything else. And you knew the tail of your B's and your L's and whatnot would go higher than the top of the A's and the S's and the E's, or at least lowercase, that is. Okay. Boach ball, book ball, like what is that? That's better, but that's not quite the way you would do it, but that could pass. That could pass. Oh, wow. Okay, Basie. Now, of course, the person at the end can write it. All right, so she can write baseball. That's pretty good. But mostly everybody else, nah. Like my handwriting back in the day, I have pretty good handwriting right now. Let me see if I can write baseball right now, and let me see if I can show it on the screen. I might be able to. I might not be able to actually show it. Hold on. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, so I had a pen just now, and it literally just broke. It's crazy for no reason. But I was able to write baseball. Let's see if I can fix it. There it is. Okay. Can you guys see? Yeah, it's the light is going to be crazy on me, but close enough. There we go. But these kids, they don't teach cursive anymore in school. So while we got these protests and whatnot going on, okay, do we know how to, are we literate? Do we know how to read? Do we know how to write? Like, what's going on? What is happening? All right, let's keep on going here.
My name is Diddy. And I'm non-binary. My pronouns are she, they. And I'm queer. And this is me officially coming out. Oh my God. My name is Diddy.
Yeah, so rather than learning how to write in cursive, and I see the comments. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Some people are saying, what's the purpose? Well, I mean, signing documents, because signature forgery is still a really big thing. And beyond that, I don't know, man. It's just a way to really kind of get in touch with language. This is the reason why, I don't know, man. You got to be able to read, because, okay, what if there's like old letters? What if there's documents? I mean, you want to be able to read your own language, however it's written. So if there's cursive, if there's print, you need to be able to read and write in your own language. At least in my opinion. Now, I know that it's kind of becoming a thing of the past to have cursive, but I think it's still a good thing to be able to write it and to be able to read it. And if you can't write it, you can't read it. Reading, you got to be able to write first as you're reading. It kind of goes hand in hand, being able to read and write. Literacy, that's all. Writing in cursive is part of literacy, in my humble opinion. All right. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now. We're learning about pronouns rather than the ABCs. Okay, these kids can't read at all. Oh, that's something else too with the math. Okay. These kids, a lot of young people, they don't understand how to count. You go to the drive-through, you give someone, so let's say the total is $9.25. You give the cashier $10.25. They're looking confused because on their little on the register, it's just buttons. Have you ever seen the fast food register? I know a lot of you guys have, but I just want to show it right quick because a lot of them is just buttons. It's not really anything. It's not really any real. Is that what you would think it is? Okay, it's something like this. Hold on. It'd be something like that. Just like pictures. This is not quite the way exactly it'd be, but that's kind of how it is. It's pictures. You just push the picture. They don't the numbers part of it, they don't have. Basic math, basic literacy, they don't have it. But yet, we know all about pronouns and drag queen story time, all this, that, and the third, right? We know all that. We know that very well. All right, let's keep on rocking here. We got quite a bit more to get into. All right. And speaking about LGBT, there's going to be a documentary about queer animals called Queer Planet. It's going to be on NBC, of course, right? Or the Peacock channel, no pun intended. All right, and this might be a little bit weird, so if you got kids, caution. I've not watched this in full. Although it is NBC, I don't know, man. They put all kinds of stuff on TV nowadays, so be warned.
Paparazzi really are everywhere.
Everything you were taught as a kid is wrong.
You make me wanna dance. Gay penguins, bisexual lions, sex-changing clownfish.
This is a queer planet.
Queerness has always existed. It's only in humans that we have such a stigma about it.
The idea of just having two fixed sexes is clearly out of style.
Mother Nature is pretty open-minded. Sex is not just for reproduction.
It's clear that no matter where you look on our planet, nature is full of queer surprises.
Queer surprises. Okie dokie.
To be honest, we should all probably get laid a little more than we do.
Okay, can I just say something right quick? These are disgusting people. Everything's about sex, sex, sex. It's like, all right, when we say, hey, you know what? Let's keep the Transformers out of the women's locker room. Oh, it's not all about sex. It's just how he identifies, blah, blah, blah. But every time I hear these individuals talk, it's always about some kind of freaky stuff. Now they're talking about freaky animals. It's like, at what point do we draw the line? And at a certain point, you got to ask yourself, is that the next thing, the next ball to drop? Didn't we see during the scamdemic? Well, pardon me, the second scamdemic, monkeypox. Remember that? How that just came on the scene and just vanished when they realized what was happening? When they realized that you had these men spreading the disease to children and animals. Remember that happened? Oh, yeah. Because remember, monkeypox, at first, they said this is affecting mostly gay, like younger gay men. Not young as in like 20s, but an average age of like 35, 36, something like that, okay? Not elderly people, but gay men in that kind of age group on average. That's who it was affecting. And there was a vaccine for it. There was a big, long line in New York City, a bunch of just gay dudes, miles of them. No women at all, just men. They said it was an STD. NBC, speaking about NBC, they put this out. They're the ones who said in the article that it's a STD that affects gay men. But then what happened? All of a sudden, kids started getting it. And dogs started getting it. And what was the common denominator? All the kids and the dogs live with gay men. Now, some are going to say, oh, it's a proximity thing. They're living in the same house. Okay, well, gay men are not just in proximity with their kids and dogs in the house. Sometimes they live with women too. They go to work with women. They go hang out with women, party with women. So why aren't women getting it? Anyway, so once that started happening, then it went away. It totally went away. So we kind of understand what this whole LGBTQ element of P, X, Y, and Z thing's all about. Okay, now speaking about some of that, Taiwan's first female president just hosted RuPaul drag queens to perform for her.
我想这应该成为全世界.
Okay, now I don't know. Now listen, you know what? I'm gonna say one thing right quick. Just one thing. Don't we fund Taiwan? Don't we give them a bunch of money? Aren't they on a list with Ukraine and Israel? Aren't we funding Taiwan? What if, just hear me out, what if your taxpayer money went to funding this grown man in a flower dress in Taiwan?
我想这应该成为全世界第一个总统府有皇后表演的地方吧。也谢谢你这么多年来让台湾。
Hold on, some of the subtitles says this is probably the first presidential office in the world. Oh, yeah, and it says to have a drag queen perform. And thank you for all these years of making Taiwan the first in so many things. And that's the president right there of Taiwan. And they say they're the first in marriage equality and becoming Taiwan's first female president. This person's name is Nymphia Wind, Taiwanese drag queen. This costume is inspired by the endemic water lily. Okay. So that's what's happening over there in Taiwan. Now check it out. If my taxpayer money is funding this, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. This is part of the reason, only part of the reason, not because it's just, you know, the Transformers. It's not just because of that. I don't want to fund all these wars and whatnot overseas because I don't want to fund it. We got to focus on ourselves first. We got 35 trillion in debt, but beyond that, they're going to just take the money that we send them and burn it up. Burn it up on nonsense, just like your man Anthony Blinken going to Kiev, Ukraine, and playing the guitar. Yeah, that's not what the tax money is supposed to be for. Okay, now speaking about some overseas stuff, Southeast Asia, we have a kickboxing match between a transformer man and a real man. Now, of course, a transformer man, this is going to be a biological woman thinking that she is a man versus an actual biological man. Now, who do you think is going to win? All right, spoiler alert, the man wins. But check it out. Now, I don't have to point out who was who. You could pretty much see what's going on. And the funny part is that the so-called trans man is still wearing the sports bra. So it's like, what are we doing? I don't like seeing women get their head stomped in, you know, even when it's like a boxing match, just like the whole Puff Daddy thing. I ain't like seeing that at all. That was not my situation. Now, speaking about Asians, we got some more, Asian hate situation happening in New York City. Okay, some drunk guy is messing with this lady, and there's all kind of issues in New York with people being harassed.
Please, 2 minutes, I know. Ma'am, I'm sorry. No, it's a good meeting. Hey.
New York, what is going on? So you see the lady was just walking, minding her business, and then some drunk guy coming up to her, just rambling, babbling about nothing, not letting her go forward. And then she has to get help by bystanders to be able to go forward so the guy would get off her. I mean, that's kind of what's happening in New York City, all kind of just random stuff. People getting beat up on the subway, attacked on the subway, robbed, harassed, just random stuff. I saw another video of a lady walking her dog, Central Park, getting harassed by random people of all races. Black guy harassed her, white guy harassed her, everybody. Now, what is the reason for all this? Has it always been like that in New York? Has that been a thing consistently? Or is it more of a newer phenomenon because of lack of law enforcement being able to do their job? Like, what is the problem? Was he drunk? Really? I mean, they said he was drunk. I'm not really sure, but something was wrong. Either he was drunk or crazy or high or a combination of all the above. Maybe 2 or 3, 1 of the 3, I can't tell. But something was not right. The elevator won't go all the way to the top floor. She's minding her business, trying to walk in the, just straight. Walk the other way. Well, what do you mean? She was trying to go from left to right, but he kept moving in front of her. So at a certain point, what do? Start running? Like across the street? Obviously, if he's doing that, like blocking you from going this way or that way, he's going to do the same thing. Now it's like a dog. Like, you ever get followed by a stray dog? If you begin to run, they're going to chase you. Same thing. That might be your instinct. Yeah, whenever I get followed by a dog, like West Virginia or something like that, if I'm back home, I'll be just walking normally. It might be 3 dogs behind me chilling, but I ain't going to start running because that's when you get chased and you might mess around and get bit. But anyway, now we have this situation in San Francisco, all right, where a woman was randomly attacked by somebody. Now, hold on, I'm reading this caption. She was attacked by a felon while shopping in the grocery store. And here's a question I have. Okay, now she was attacked in the grocery store randomly by a stranger. Do you think the person who attacked her randomly will get the kind of time that David DePape got? Now, David DePape, obviously, it was a little bit different. Home invasion, things of this nature. Hit Paul Pelosi in the head with a hammer, put him in the coma or whatever it was. But he got 30 years in the penitentiary making big rocks to little rocks. Do you think her attacker will face any kind of jail time at all?
The store owner, and then a woman in a pink sweatshirt comes in and out of nowhere grabs Kate's hair from behind while slamming a bag with a bottle of Jack Daniels onto her head and begins her assault.
And I was hit over the head with a plastic bag that had glass bottles in it. And then she just immediately started punching me in the head. And I'm not sure how many times I had no clue what was going on.
The whole thing she never saw coming lasted fewer than 10 seconds, ending when the store owner of Kansas Food Market stepped in, tossing the woman out. Video shows a shocked and hurt Kate laying on the ground, wondering who and why, when she says she had no interaction with anyone outside.
When it happened on Tuesday afternoon, afterwards I was just in complete and total shock. Yesterday I was crazy angry, and today I'm just completely overwhelmed.
Now, I got a question. The person that attacked her, do you think she purchased those bottles of liquor? Do you think so? You know what I think happened? I think the person went to the store, stole the bottles, put them in the bag, and then just because she wanted to attack this random lady. The lady did not know her. There was no prior interaction. It was a completely random attack. Probably with stolen merchandise that she got from the store. All right. If the bottles broke or anything like that, it doesn't matter to the person who did it because she stole it anyway. So it doesn't even make a difference. That's what's happening right now in San Fran, Bay Area, Oakland, all of that over there. It's crazy. You couldn't pay me all the money in the world, all the tea in China to go over there. It ain't going to happen. Now, speaking about David DePape, Paul Pelosi, we all know David DePape. This guy got 30 years in the penitentiary for attacking Paul Pelosi. And the reason why he got so much time is because of who Paul Pelosi is. You know, you're talking about Nancy, Speaker of the House at one point. At the time of the attack, she was Speaker of the House. Was it third in line to the presidency, if I'm not mistaken? You have Biden, Kamala, and then the Speaker. So even though it was not Nancy Pelosi who got hit, the purpose was to hit her.
6:01, and today the man convicted of attacking Paul Pelosi in his home in San Francisco is going to be sentenced.
Yeah, David DePape is his name, facing upwards of 50 years in prison. Channel 4's Will Tran live at the federal courthouse in San Francisco with the latest. Will.
James, it will happen right behind me in 4 hours from now. He was actually convicted last year, but today he will find out his fate. Let's get right to the video on how we got here. It actually started back on October 28th of 2022 when David DePape went to the Pelosi's home in San Francisco. He was looking for then Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, saying that he wanted to talk to her, and if she lied, he would have broken her kneecaps. But instead, Paul Pelosi was the only one home. He ended up calling the police department. When officers arrived, body cam footage shows that David DePape actually hit Paul Pelosi 3 times on the head with a hammer.
Now, there are so many questions, though, because some things have not been answered. Okay, the story that we got was that David DePape broke in the house with a hammer, which we saw the footage of him busting down the window in the back with the hammer. He gained access to the home, and then Paul Pelosi was in bed, and he was awakened by Mr. DePape with the hammer. So, okay, that may explain why he's in his underoos, right? Looking like Winnie the Pooh with a long shirt and a pair of drawers on, right? Okay, so why does he have a drink in his hand? Why? Is it a glass of water by your bedside? Why is it a glass of water from your bedside at your side? Are you drinking alcohol? Like, what's going on with that? Why did you guys come to the door kind of smiling like ain't nothing going on? Now, I think, to explain a little bit of that, I think that he's crazy, speaking about David DePape, because he has an ex-wife and a son, and they're both crazy too. So let's just watch the rest of this, and I'll show the son and the ex-wife.
He suffered a fractured skull, actually woke up in a pool of his own blood. DePape was arrested. Now, prosecutors say during this whole trial that he never showed remorse, that he was actually bragging about the attack. He was convicted of assaulting an immediate family member of a federal official, as well as attempted kidnapping of a federal official. He faces up, as you mentioned, to 50 years in prison. Prosecutors are looking for 40 years, which means by the time he gets out of prison, he will be 83 years old. This is just one front of his problems because state prosecutors also want to get him on charges, and that's the trial after this. And after that, ICE also wants him as well because he is actually a Canadian resident who came into the U.S. back in 2008 on a 6-month visa. He should have left the United States, but instead, obviously, he has been here ever since.
So basically, this guy is an illegal alien from Canada. They said he came back in 2008 on the visa. This is now 2024, 16 years later. Obviously, an illegal alien should not be in the USA. So an illegal Canadian alien in the United States breaking into Nancy Pelosi, Paul Pelosi's home, attacking Paul Pelosi with a hammer after the police arrive. So many questions, so few answers. But at the end of the day, he got 30 years in the penitentiary. Now, there's more. I want you guys to hear from David DePape's from his son and his ex-wife. Y'all give me a second.
To this court or to protecting the Pelosi family and all victims of violence. And we will continue to work tirelessly to uphold the values of justice and peace in our society.
I think that's quite sad. I think that's...
Now, here's his son. Yes, Sky, S-K-Y Gonzalez, David DePape's son.
It's a really long time because if you think about it, right, he's already nearly 50. He's basically, it's just a death sentence.
What's going on with your headphones, my man? Like, what is happening with your headphones? Are we seeing this? Hold on.
I think that's...
It might be a minor thing to observe. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. So we have headphones. One side is kind of just beat up, and the other side has no cushion in it. Maybe it's just me looking at things that don't matter. I don't know. But I think at one point they were like off the grid living. Maybe they might live like in a RV or something like that. I don't really know what's happening, but I'm just looking at some things and I'm thinking, okay, what's happening? So that's his son. And then after him, we're going to hear from the ex-wife.
If you think about it, right, he's already nearly 50. He's basically, it's just a death sentence. Like if you think about it, it's a death sentence.
We're going to appeal this, okay? The reason why I'm not as sad as I would otherwise be is because...
Now, this is the ex-wife. Her name is Gypsy Taub. Gypsytaub. Gypsy Taub. The ex-wife.
Because I strongly believe that I create my own reality. We do create our own reality. It's just a matter of learning how to be more conscious about it. I believe that there are forces by far greater than court rules. And court rules change all the time. Laws change all the time as well.
Sounded like, what's her name? Marianne Williamson. Somebody's spiritual advisor that might have 2 cents toward together to their name. So yeah, that's the son, Sky, S-K-Y, yes, and Gypsy Taub, the ex-wife. And the ex-wife for some reason is out there trying to defend the guy. I don't really know. I mean, what are you really gonna say? What can you really say? I don't quite understand. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, now let's go back to what's happening with Congress. Have you guys seen the whole thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene and what's her name? I don't want to say the wrong thing. Hold on. What's the lady's name from Texas? Jasmine Crockett. So Jasmine Crockett and MTG got into a tiff that Jerry Springer would be proud of. R.I.P. to Jerry Springer. Let's check it.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What? Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order, Mr. Chairman. That's beneath even Order of your committee. Order.
So that was a little jab right there from MTG to Jasmine Crockett about the crazy fake eyelashes. Yeah, that's probably been in their mind for a long time. I can't really see Jasmine Crockett's eyelashes, but I already know kind of what's going on. So that probably was there for a while. She's wanted the moment to go ahead and say it.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words.
Now, that was AOC in the background talking, of course.
That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl? I don't think
we are going to move, and we're going to take your words down.
I second that motion.
So who will have to pay? Okay. Ms. Green agrees to strike.
Didn't I play Idiocracy the last stream? Didn't I play a clip from it? Are we experiencing this or not? If we're not, I can't tell. If we're not deep into Idiocracy right now, I can't tell.
Her words.
I believe she should apologize. No.
Perry, okay, hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Green
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're
reserve
not
the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
Mr.
not
Perry.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the
think
minority.
it's pretty self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
out of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike
I'd like to
I
strike
move to
those
strike the
words
lady's
as well.
words.
I would like to strike
Strike the
those
lady's
as well.
words again.
That's 2 requests to strike. That's 2 requests to strike.
Oh, they cannot take the
There's
words.
another motion to strike her words again. Please
All right.
get
Okay.
your members under
Here's
control.
the correct apology. Ms. Green, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not
all right.
apologizing.
Without objection. Without
Not
objection.
apologizing.
21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
So then, as the time goes on, it kind of skip a little bit. That happened. That was quote unquote resolved. Whatever. Words got struck. She agreed to strike them, but not apologizing. Now we continue to what Jasmine Crockett said a little bit later.
Who's
It's me.
Ms. Crockett?
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Okay, so I think the first comments were about engaging in personalities or something like that. That's kind of what it was called, so it wasn't really a big deal. So then Jasmine Crockett says, what if I call her bad built, bleach blonde? Now, this guy, what's this? Comer? Hold on. What's the man? Is that James Comer? Yeah, James Comer has no idea what she's talking about. Okay, he don't know what's going on. He's from Carthage, Tennessee, like way out in between Nashville and Cookeville. He has no idea what she's talking about. He's like, what? What's that?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on. I'm trying to find clarification on what qualifies.
Chairman, motion to strike those
I have no idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
You just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do. So I'm trying to get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not recognized. Ms.
I
Crockett.
can't hear you with your yelling.
You don't want
calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk
calm
noise
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all gonna have a problem.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, Chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes.
My goodness. Okay. We got through it. You know what? I saw this video. Like, as soon as it happened, I saw it. And I was like, should I do a video on this? I was like, nah. I'll cover it on a live stream. But my goodness, that was rough. Shout out to my man, Right Wing Angel, for putting that video together. You doing the Lord's work, because I didn't want to do it. I'm glad you did it. I didn't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. But my goodness, I mean, what in the world's happening here? What are we even doing? Is this politics or what? Bad built, bleach blonde, big eyelashes, snuffleupagus. What is going on? AOC, girl. I don't know, man. Idiocracy is real. Ghetto, low class, dumb, low IQ, and unproductive. I'm all for a little bit of ridiculous. If ridiculousness gets things done, then go ahead. If not, then what are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah, exactly, Lynn. My name Bennett, I ain't in it. My name Bennett, I ain't in it. My name Stephen, I'm leaving. Anyway, so yeah, shout out to them. That was AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. They listen, Honey Bean, they run the country. These are our lawmakers. Lawmakers, like it's in high school. I was just saying this earlier. It's like we have a bunch of grown people that are still like little kids. We're too old for this. We are way too old for this. Jasmine Crockett is my age. Listen to me. Hold on. Actually, I think she's older than me. Matter of fact, hold on. She's older than me. She's 43 years old. She's older than me, acting like she's 15 in high school. But hey, these are our lawmakers. These are the people that run the country. Now, you know who I would love to have run the country or at least be in a position of power? You know who would be great? This guy right here, Harrison Butker. Did you guys see the speech, the commencement speech at Benedictine College in Kansas? This was amazing. Now, Harrison Butker is married with children. He's a kicker for the Chiefs out there in Kansas City, NFL football player. He has 3 championship rings with the team. And he gave a speech at Benedictine College that is kind of going viral. Before I play that one, I'm going to play another one that he gave at Georgia Tech. All right, Georgia Tech. And by the way, Harrison Butker is from Atlanta, from the deck, if you will, Decatur. And he went to high school in Atlanta proper. Check it out.
It is important to use today as an opportunity to take stock of your mission. Our culture is suffering. We all see it. It doesn't matter which political persuasion you sit on or whether you are a person of deep faith or not. Anyone with eyes can see that something is off. Studies have shown one of the many negative effects of the pandemic is that a lot of young adults feel a sense of loneliness, anxiety, and depression, despite technology that has connected us more than ever before. It would seem the more connected people are to one another, the more they feel alone. I'm not sure the root of this, but at least I can offer one controversial antidote that I believe will have a lasting impact for generations to come. Get married and start a family. Wow.
Now, again, this is a speech that came before the Benedictine College. This is at Butker University. Again, Butker. Pardon me, not Butker University, Georgia Tech. I'm tripping. It should be Butker University. He should have his own school now, but this is at Georgia Tech before the Benedictine College.
I will say this is the most important ring I have right here. Having kicked the game-winning field goal in both the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl, I have received a great deal of praise for these successes. They just announced that this Super Bowl was the most watched football game of all time, and yet all of this happiness is temporary. And the truth is, none of these accomplishments mean anything compared to the happiness I have found in my marriage and in starting a family. My confidence as a husband and father, and yes, even as a football player, is rooted in my marriage with my wife, as we leave our mark on future generations by the children we bring into the world. How much greater of a legacy can anyone leave than that? Sadly, we are encouraged to live our lives for ourselves, to move from one thing to another with no long-term commitment, to have loyalty for nothing but ourselves and sacrifice only when it suits our own interests. This loneliness is rooted in the lies being sold about self-dependence and prioritizing our career over important relationships.
So there we go. That's the speech he gave at Georgia Tech before the Benedictine College. Harrison Butker from the Kansas City Chiefs, NFL football player, 3-time Super Bowl winner. Now let's check out the Benedictine College speech, or at least an excerpt from it.
It's only in the past few years that I have grown encouraged to speak more boldly and directly, because as I mentioned earlier, I have leaned into my vocation as a husband and father and as a man. To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture, and when that is absent, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos set in. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation. Other countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the US, and a correlation could be made in their drastically lower violence rates as well. Be unapologetic in your masculinity, fighting against the cultural emasculation of men. Do hard things. Never settle for what is easy. You might have a talent that you don't necessarily enjoy, but if it glorifies God, maybe you should lean into that over something that you might think suits you better. I speak from experience as an introvert who now finds myself as an amateur public speaker and an entrepreneur, something I never thought I'd be when I received my industrial engineering degree. The road ahead is bright. Things are changing, society is shifting, and people, young and old, are embracing tradition. Not only has it been my vocation that has helped me and those closest to me, but not surprising to many of you, should be my outspoken embrace of the traditional Latin Mass. I've been very vocal in my love and devotion to the TLM and its necessity for our lives. But what I think gets misunderstood is that people who attend the TLM do so out of pride or preference. I can speak to my own experience, but for most people I have come across within these communities, this simply is not true. I do not attend the TLM because I think I am better than others, or for the smells and bells, or even for the love of Latin. I attend the TLM because I believe, just as the God of the Old Testament was pretty particular in how he wanted to be worshiped, the same holds true for us today. It is through the TLM that I encountered order and began to pursue it in my own life.
So there we go. You know, a Christian man, unapologetically so, Catholic, going to the Latin Mass, you know, things like that are frowned upon in society. And when you're talking about men and women, what you should do, things of this nature, they don't like that too much. That's not really a thing that is promoted in society, unfortunately. But hey, shout out to Harrison Butker. Again, kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs, 3-time Super Bowl winner. And as you heard, he kicked a game-winning field goal in Super Bowl. So shout out to him. People didn't like what he said. There was I think there's a change.org petition against him. They're calling them all types of sexist and everything else. Let me see if it's still up. Harrison Butker. And you guys said it. I think it said butt kicker because of his name, Butker, butt kicker. That's like his nickname. Let me see if that petition is up. Yeah, here we go. So there's a petition that has 208,000 signatures. Hold on. So here's the thing. Demand Kansas City Chiefs to dismiss Harrison Butker for discriminatory remarks. 208,825 signatures. And their next goal, 300,000. Okay. So we got a few people that have expressed their opinion. Okay. Let's hear from some of these fine gentlemen and ladies. All right.
I wanted to make this video because I'm a Catholic and I'm the father of a boy and a girl. I think this video is abhorrent. This statement from this Chiefs player is abhorrent. And I don't want my children thinking that because of their sex, they're worth less or should be entitled to less or should have less opportunities. It's absolutely absurd and I want it stopped and I want him gone.
All right, so there's one person.
Hi, my name is Mercedes, and I strongly believe that this man should be dismissed from the Chiefs. Because for him to think that women are simply housewives and that for them to get an education is outrageous, it is completely sexist. Women have every right to an education. We have the right to better ourselves. Because we don't live in the, 1700s anymore. This is 2024.
Harrison being so discriminatory to women in general, especially women who worked and use their time and money for something and pursued that, and then him going and saying, well, you're nothing, like, with that, you are only good for children.
So you see kind of the how people feel. There's a bunch of these videos, 13,000 people signed today. People are really upset. Now, I don't think the NFL is going to go ahead and waive Harrison Butker. I don't think they're going to do that. I think he's a pretty good player. And although there was a statement from the NFL's DEI department. Yes, the NFL does have a DEI or DIE department still. Yes, they do. I don't know why.
This is you.
Hold on. That's an ad. I don't know why they have a DEI department, but they do. So check it out. NFL condemns Harrison Butker's faith-based commencement speech after Chiefs kicker sparks backlash. Butker encouraged women graduates to embrace how love homemaker. All right, that was the main thing that he did. All right, now let me see if I can find the appropriate thing here. Good. Look at this ad covering the entire screen. Good grief. Like, what is the problem? Okay, let's go down to it. So in a statement to People magazine, the NFL clarified that Butker spoke from a personal capacity and reiterated the league's stance on inclusion. Harrison Butker gave a speech in his personal capacity. Jonathan Bean, the NFL's senior vice president and chief diversity and inclusion officer, DEI, told the outlet, his views are not those of the NFL as an organization. The NFL is steadfast in our commitment to inclusion, which only makes our league stronger. During his speech, Butker encouraged women to embrace what he called the most important titles of all as a Catholic, speaking about being a homemaker, things of this nature. And again, I don't know why they have a DEI department still, but they do. Now, I'm not sure if this particular piece was in the one that I played, but I'll play this specifically.
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2024, you are sitting at the edge of the rest of your lives. Each of you has the potential to leave a legacy that transcends yourselves and this era of human existence. In the small ways, by living out your vocation, you will ensure that God's church continues and the world is enlightened by your example. For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother.
So that right there got them triggered. They got triggered. They got mad. Oh, you're going to reduce us to a baby factory, all this, that, and the third. That's what that is. Okay, that's what that is. Now, people said it wasn't the right time and place. You got to understand the audience. He's at Benedictine College. Okay, as in Saint Benedict. This is a Catholic school. And he's Catholic. He's religious. So why would you not say that right there? The only reason why you wouldn't say it is because you're intimidated, because you're afraid of what people are going to say. You don't want to get the backlash or the negativity that's going to come as a result. So yeah, shout out to Harrison Butker. NFL, I mean, listen, the NFL, they got to understand their audience. I don't know why they have a DEI office, because who's really watching the NFL that's going to get triggered and butthurt by what he said? If anybody's watching NFL football and they get triggered at what he said, I just don't understand. Now, you know who might be offended. You know who may or may not be offended. Matter of fact, hold on. Do you think the Pope himself, the Pope, would be offended at what Harrison Butker said? Do you think the Pope would be offended at some of us as conservatives? Here's a video from the Pope. Check it out.
There are conservative bishops in the United States that oppose your new efforts to revisit teachings and traditions. How do you address their criticism?
You used an adjective, conservative. That is, conservative is one who clings to something and does not want to see beyond that. It is a suicidal attitude. Because one thing is to take tradition into account, to consider situations from the past, but quite another is to be closed up inside a dogmatic box.
There are conservative bishops.
All right, so there we have it. I'm not sure if he's a big fan of conservatives, judging by that answer. Okay, it's such a weird thing. People take some of these words literally. When you say conservative, it's like, what are you conserving? What are you conserving, ABL? It's like, well, I'm just saying, I'm just not into all this extra weird stuff. I'm just more of a conservative person. People take these words literally. You know what I mean? I'm not quite sure if the word conservative translates well in Italian, But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, here's an interesting clip from, what's this? Dixie Beer. So Dixie Beer, speaking about conservatives and changing things of this nature, rather than being conservative in the definition that the Pope just gave and keeping to their traditions, they wanted to change because after George Floyd died, they changed their name from Dixie Beer to Fallborg Brewing Company. I'm not making this up. Hold on. Let me put it on the screen for you guys. So it says right here, Dixie Beer, one of the oldest beer brands in the USA, changed their name in 2020 after George Floyd died. New name, Fallborg, Cyborg. I don't know. I can't pronounce this. Y'all please pardon me. Fallborg Brewing Company. Now the company faces mass layoffs and is auctioning off all its equipment for just $2 million. Now, there was quite a bit of this happening maybe during that time or right around that time. Remember, if anything was considered in any kind of way offensive to even just one person, they were changing their name. Washington Redskins, team that I grew up on, being from Virginia, all of a sudden now that's offensive. Okay, so if you have one of the Washington Redskins t-shirt, matter of fact, hold on. I think Dan Snyder, the owner of the Redskins, had on a Redskins shirt. It was some kind of like it was a throwback shirt that he had on. Yeah, no, pardon me. It wasn't the coach. I think it wasn't the owner, it was the coach, Dan Quinn. All right, let me see if I can find. That's crazy. Look, they're so offended at the shirt, they don't even really want to show it. Here it is. Now, you guys know the Redskins have become the Washington Commanders instead of the Redskins because I guess the Redskins is offensive. Now, they changed the logo from the native with the feather, all of that, to a W. Now, in this picture, you can see the W in the background, but you're also going to see the shirt he had on that had some of the old logo in it. You see the W in the background on a separate repeat backdrop with FanDuel. It's so funny because we're going to promote gambling, right? That's fine. But the feather on the W is offensive. This t-shirt was a news story because it has the new logo mixed with the old logo with the feather. That was a news story. That was like, oh, we're offended. How dare you wear this? All this, that, and the third. But you can have FanDuel, a gambling app in the background, and that's totally okay. You know how many billions Americans have spent and lost on gambling? Now, if you gamble, nothing against what you do, go ahead, knock yourself out, have a good time, go to Vegas, put it all on black, go to FanDuel, Prize Picks, whatever you want, knock yourself out. But that's fine, but a feather is an issue. Anyway, during that time, 2020, 2021, 2019, and beyond, everything became offensive. So everybody wanted to change their name. Washington Redskins, Uncle Ben's Rice, Aunt Jemima Pancake Mix, all this and that. Aunt Jemima became Pearl Milling Company. Let's go back to the Fallsburg Brewing Company and see what happened to them after they changed their name, and now they got to lay off all their employees.
Our partners at NOLA.com report that the company will soon auction off all of its equipment. That sale is planned for June.
Hold on, how did they pronounce it?
Our partners at NOLA.com report that the company will soon auction
they didn't even say it.
Off all of its equipment. That sale is planned for June, expected to raise a little over $2 million. As we've reported, last November, Faubourg shut down most of its beer making.
Okay, Faubourg.
Operations at that facility, laid off workers too at the plant. The tap room will remain open. It continues to stay open up until the auction. Our partner.
So yeah, there we go. Faubourg. Hey, not enough. The name change and all that, trying to be woke, didn't help you at all. And what else is not going to help is voting for people that are not going to have your best interests at heart. All right. Now, there's a meme and a video for this one. I'm gonna play the video first. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, AMG, Foldberg, like fake Berg. Is that what they're trying to say? Foldberg. Yeah, they folded to the woke mob, didn't they? They sure did. They sure did. All right, but check it out. 3 Chicago thugs robbed the woman's home. Police weren't able to show up for 4 hours. When she called supervisor to complain, he told her to call a local politician and ask for funding for more cops. Check it out.
Michelle says she and a neighbor chased them down the street. Then she says she called 911.
They told me dispatch was on the way and to wait outside.
She says she waited and waited and called and called.
Criminal trespass in progress.
But no police.
An hour and a half goes by. I called a 6th time, and I asked to speak to a 911 supervisor. And he suggested I call my alderman. And I said, why would I call my alderman? He said, encourage him to hire more police.
Michelle says more than 4 hours later, officers arrived.
The officers were extremely apologetic, obviously overwhelmed.
Adding more frustration to the day, she says an officer tried to get an evidence tech out, but was denied. Chicago police told us the delay in getting officers to Michelle's home may have something to do with the priority list for routine dispatch calls for 911. Michelle,
I mean, look, okay, if you're not like on the ground bleeding out, what are they going to do? If they're stretched thin and the staff isn't there, what are they going to do? They got to prioritize who's going to be most important. Okay, we got somebody we got gunshot victims. We got people that are having, crack overdoses, heroin, fentanyl, whatever. Okay, we got to get to them. We got to get to them, and then we can keep on rocking and rolling. All right. Oh, but here's the meme. Okay. Lady on the left, I don't feel safe in my own neighborhood. And then my man on the right, you voted for this. So what are we to do? Okay, you don't feel safe, but this is what you voted for. Okay, you voted for those that are not going to fund the police. You voted for those that are against what I'm doing. So what can you really do? Okay. Now, there's other cities dealing with crime. You got New York City dealing with crime, and they're having the time with it. And Eric Adams, last time, he was talking about, the migrants can swim all over the place because they're migrants. But he's talking about that, but also rather than dealing with the crime, or maybe this is a thing he's talking about instead of the crime, they want to track and limit your meat consumption. I'm not making this up. Okay, you eating too many sausages, too many chickens, hamburgers, hot dogs, and whatnot. Okay, we're going to track that and limit it.
Announced that for the first time in our city's history, we're measuring just how much of an impact our food choices have on our emissions. First time we're doing this. We work with the C40 Cities Climate Leadership Group, and I want to take my hat off to a great corporate partner, American Express. Announced that for the first time in our city's history, we're measuring just how much of an impact our food choices have on our emissions.
So, I don't understand. So I guess maybe they're trying to, okay, how many pizzas and whatnot are we going to consume? How much? And then my thing is, okay, are we going to be regulating the street meat? You go to New York City, you got these migrants out there cooking up whatever on the grill and selling it to you. Okay, it might be rat, cat, dog, who knows on the grill. Are we going to track that or not? What are we even talking about? This goes back to the whole thing about cows farting. They literally on CNN had a special, or at least a talking about bovine flatulation, cow farts. Then they try to make it all bovine flatulation. Really? Just say what it is. Just say what it is. But they don't want to say it directly because it sounds so dumb. Hey, today we're going to talk about cows farting and how that's hurting the environment. Really? Is that what we're going to talk about? Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Let's keep on going. Going back to Chicago, this is Kim Fox. Remember Kim Fox from the whole Juicy Smollett kerfuffle where he got off, slap on the wrist at best, no jail time, no nothing? Let's check it out. And shout out to you guys on the Facebook. I see you, Harriet, Gramps, I see you. Shout out to Peter. Shout out to everybody over there. Shout out to you guys on the Facebooks if you're watching. And here is Kim Foxx from Chicago. This is the Cook County DA, the person who did not get Justice Moyer in the penitentiary or jail or anything like that.
Is not having an impact on public safety.
State's Attorney Kim Foxx tonight tells the I-Team that before she leaves office early next year, she wants traffic stop-based searches by police to be prohibited unless there is a public safety threat.
Doing these searches, again, searches that have a disproportionate impact on Black and brown communities that don't net a public safety benefit, we should not do that.
Under this newly drafted state's attorney policy that has been obtained tonight by the I-Team, traffic stops for routine, minor infractions would not be allowed, and the state's attorney would decline to prosecute cases that are solely the product of a non-public safety traffic stop.
All right, so check it out. I smell weed. We go into the, I don't know, man. At a certain point, sometimes you need to have stops. And then what is a non-public safety stop? What does that really mean? What does it mean to have a I don't really understand. Let's keep on going.
Even if a gun, drugs, or stolen property were found during the subsequent search. For instance, the case of Dexter Reed, if he hadn't been stopped under a policy that would prevent non-public safety kinds of stops, he would probably still be alive today, but at the same time, you'd have an individual with a gun. Where's the balancing factor in that?
I would also say we'd have a police officer who wasn't shot in the line of duty as well.
Okay, so I don't understand. What does a non-public safety stop really mean? How does that really... I want to play a little bit more here.
Is not having an impact on public safety.
State's Attorney Kim Foxx tonight tells the I-Team that before she leaves office early next year, she wants traffic stop-based searches by police to be prohibited unless there is a public safety threat.
How do you determine what a threat to public is? Okay, so let's say you get pulled over, right? And you got a busted tail light, you're speeding or whatever. And then they pull up to your vehicle. Oh, I smell weed. Get out the car. And we have probable cause that you might have something going on. You might got drugs or you smell the weed already. So that a lot of times be the entry point. So maybe in that situation, you can't search the car. So you're going to have guys just doing whatever, riding around with whatever. I mean, it's going to be a whole big mess. All you're going to do with that is just increase the level of crime in the city, in my humble opinion. You're not going to actually solve anything. And my thing is, if I live in an area like that, I want to be able to feel safe and not feel like I'm always on, walking on eggshells wherever I live at. Now, speaking about not feeling safe, speaking about things not going right for certain people, the migrants, okay? The migrants, let's check it out. We got migrants talking about the conditions where they live in New York are not very good. Okay, no bueno.
Yanidi Pena, she was overcome with emotions. She feels the weight of the world on her right now. It took her and her children a month and a half to get from El Salvador to Mexico, where they crossed the country into Texas.
Illegally.
They got moved to New York City, and they were in a housing program that sent them here to Rochester. They arrived in January of this year and lived at the Holiday Inn downtown for 4 months. And they were moved here 3 weeks ago.
Muy traumática.
It's very traumatic.
Porque no creí.
She says it's been quite traumatic. Everything that was told to us to come to Monroe County, to Rochester, hasn't been fulfilled.
Do you like America?
Sí. Pero no Rochester.
Yes, but not Rochester. But why? What's the problem?
But not Rochester.
No. No good Rochester.
Do you want to stay in America?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess maybe you don't like living in Rochester. You don't like the city that you live in. So you not only want to come into the country illegally, then you want to get sent to wherever you want to go for free 99. I guess that's the whole thing. The entitlement is crazy. Hey, you know what? Maybe I don't like where I live. Maybe I want to go live in, I want to go live in Miami, Florida. I want to live on Star Island. Look, I want to go to Miami. I want to go to Star Island. I want to get fed grapes by mermaids from the water. They don't exist? Well, look, make them exist, okay? Give me some mermaids that come from the water and feed grapes every hour on the hour like a clockwork. Ding, boom, grapes in the air, flying around. That's what I want. If I can't get that, listen, if I can't get that, then you're racist. You're racist. All right, check it out. Let's keep on going. here we have some more about the migrants. This is in Massachusetts. It's a town called Norfolk, but not in Virginia. This is Massachusetts. You know, we got a lot of English words over here. Norfolk, Suffolk, Portsmouth. This is not Virginia. This is Massachusetts.
Our own. Do something to stop it.
A heated meeting in Norfolk packed to capacity with residents voicing their concerns over the state's plan to open a shelter at the former prison.
There is no turning back when this happens. Our schools are overcrowded as it is. We have a budget problem. This isn't a humanitarian question. This is a mathematical question. It cannot happen.
Norfolk town leaders say they met with state leaders Wednesday and learned the state does plan to house about 450 people at the former Bay State Correctional Center. The overflow site is meant to help homeless families with children, many of them migrants who have been sleeping at Logan Airport.
Now we are considering adding additional children onto the plate of our already stretched too thin teachers and expecting it just to work.
The biggest concern is how the schools will handle this influx of children.
That's something else, though, because one thing people are not talking about is the schools that get these kids, because they ain't speaking no English. So you got ESL, and you already got crowded schools as it is. And okay, I'm a teacher in a small town, Massachusetts, and I don't speak English. Okay, I don't speak Spanish. All I speak is English. So now we got a problem.
While a few people said they worry about those new students getting bullied if they're not welcome here.
And not just Spanish, but also different languages, because it ain't just migrants from south of the border, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, etc. You got, some Haitians coming in. You got some, West Africans, some Europeans, some Chinese, other parts of Asia. So I don't speak your particular language. So you got 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 different languages coming in with these kids flooding into the school. And then you got these regular normies that are just teaching kids in their town for the past 15 years to deal with it. How?
And as one of the few Black families in this town, I feel obligated to ask this question because I don't want these children to be targets.
Public safety is another concern with the sudden increase in population for this tiny town. The Norfolk fire chief says when the shelter opens, he's expecting emergency calls to increase by 5 to 10%, which will impact response times to residents.
I visited the facility on Monday. There were no contractors there. We were told that, barbed wire would be taken down.
State Representative Marcus Vaughn and Norfolk town leaders say they've been left in the dark on this new shelter, but they're hoping to mitigate the impact to this town.
So small town dealing with the migrants. But hey, you know what? This is just state politics. You have the right to the right to shelter, and all right, Norfolk, Massachusetts, you're going to be ground zero for this. You don't like it. You don't have the capacity. Oh well, it is what it is. It is what it is. Now we have an Ecuadorian talking about things are not going so good in New York City. All right.
¿Por qué viniste aquí a los Estados?
Por ver una vida mejor, le digo, por trabajar. Yo quise trabajar porque en Ecuador no tengo nada. O sea, yo quise ver, como vi en el TikTok, que salía tantas cosas que hay hasta para lavar.
Hold on. Let's go back. She was like, yo, so back in Ecuador, I had no job, no nothing. And then I saw how it was on TikTok in the USA.
Que salía tantas cosas.
It said it was jobs and clean bathrooms.
Cosas que hay hasta para lavar baños, así. Pero aquí no hay nada. Ya no.
Pero aquí I know, but there is nothing.
No aguanto más, mejor.
Can't take it anymore. Going back to my country.
Ya me voy a mi país.
Entonces, ¿su vida era peor aquí en Nueva York que era ahí en Ecuador?
Sí, yo pensaba que era un poquito más bueno, ¿no? Porque aquí los arriendos también son carísimos.
So she's saying that she thought it would be better here, but it's not because rents are very expensive. Wow. Welcome to our world. Welcome to the real world. Welcome to how we really feel as American citizens. We know things are very expensive. I'm glad you're finding out for for yourself.
Entonces, para mí,
she's by herself and they don't want to put me in the shelter.
Mi solita que estoy yo sola, no me quieren ni dar ni chesters, nada. Entonces,
she's going back to Ecuador.
De vez me voy a mi Ecuador.
¿Cómo llegaste aquí a los Estados Unidos?
Por la selva, caminando.
He's asking her how she got here. She said she's going through the jungle, walking across the border, through the Darien Gap, Panama. I suppose. But Ecuador, that wouldn't be that way, I don't think. Yeah, it is. That's South America.
pura candil, así.
¿Y cuánto tenía que pagar los carteles y para todo para que podría llegar aquí?
Asking them hard questions.
Yo gasté total 400.
Now listen to this. He's asking her how much she paid the cartels to get here. Now, she spent a total of 400,000, I guess, whatever their currency is, the equivalent of 23,000 US dollars. Do you have $23,000 to just throw away? Meaning, if you spend it, it might not pan out. Can you afford to miss that much money in your pocket? But I'm told, oh, they're so poor, they're helpless, they're just trying to find a better life. If you got that much money, things weren't that bad. How do you have nothing, but you got 23 grand in your pocket? Somebody lying, ain't they? Anyway.
¿Cómo es 400,000? Solita yo, para pagar coyotero, todo eso.
Ahora vas a regresar a Ecuador con más dinero que
Now the question is, now are you going to return with more money or less money than you had?
tenía o menos ahora?
Menos.
Less money, of course.
Me voy con 1,000.
And she got $1,000 left. Allegedly. $23,000 US. 23,000 US dollars. She spent to get over here. That's what I'm saying. And that's not uncommon because you got to pay, man. These coyotes, they're not just going to let you come over. You got to pay them to smuggle you in to go through the whole situation. And then it's like, okay, if you came from Ecuador through the Darien Gap, through the whole, the Isthmus, whatever that is, Mexico, through all these countries, and then you got to the United States, that's not a cheap journey. How are you going to be able to eat? How are you going to be able to have somewhere to stay? How are you going to be protected? It costs money. And they got it. They got plenty of money. So I'm not trying to hear this excuse about these people just being so poor and destitute, all this, that, and the third. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't want to hear nobody's sob story at all. Okay. Now, let's talk about Puff Daddy. We got to go here. Puff Daddy. Now, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, Brother Love, whatever his name is. This guy has been the target of a lot of controversy and trouble over the past few days, weeks, months, years, maybe even. So the initial allegation from his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was that there was a lot of abuse in their relationship that took years and years and years. And a lot of allegations were made in a lawsuit. Now, the rumored amount for the lawsuit was $30 million. Although I don't really know how much it was for. That was the rumored amount, $30 million. Actually, I do know that's what it was for because Puff and his lawyers came out and said that's what it was for right when it happened. Talking about this is an attempt to get $30 million and it's been like that for a long time. But then when the details of the lawsuit came out to the public, he settled it within 24 to 48 hours. It might have been 24 hours. He settled the lawsuit and that was it. There was no more trying to fight it. He settled the lawsuit. But then after that, what happened was there was an avalanche of allegations from men and women alleging sexual assault, all kind of other misconduct. There was an allegation from his days of going to Hampton, Kamala Harris' album on about her way, back in the 80s of him drugging and sexually assaulting a man. And the man says he has the clothes from that night that he was assaulted by Puff in the 80s when he went to Howard in DC. So there's a lot against this guy, and some things may not be true. Some things may be true. But one thing you can't really dispute, in my opinion, is straight up evidence, like hardcore physical evidence, smoking gun. And we have that right here. Now, this video is from the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles back in March 2016. Now, some are going to say, hey, ABL, why is it just now coming out? Why didn't it come out back then? Well, when you're Puff Daddy, you could just make things go away, right? Word on the street is that he paid the hotel 50 grand to keep the video quiet. Now, I don't know why it's coming out now. Maybe the federales found that at his house in Star Island or in Los Angeles. I don't really know. But regardless of what, the video is out now. CNN has it, and it shows Puff Daddy acting a complete fool. A FOIA act, it could have been. That's a good assumption or question, faithless? I don't know. That's a good question. It could be that, but regardless of what, it's out.
Allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
Now, what you see right here is Puff running out of the hotel room in the hallway with a towel on. Okay, probably no clothes underneath that, just a towel.
The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
So you can see what he's doing. He threw her down and then kicked her on the ground
In a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura.
And then he stomped her on the ground.
In November last year and settled the next day, referenced action.
And then he drags her on the floor. This is all on surveillance camera in the lobby, in the hallway of a hotel. It wasn't a lobby, it was a hallway. They probably were not too far from their room.
That seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye.
Now, this is from the lawsuit, okay? Remember the lawsuit came out and he settled the next day. So this video supports what was in the lawsuit. Now, what they're not saying, right, what they didn't read on CNN was this was March 2016 during a freak off, an FO at the hotel. And we got little kids come in, cover the ears for this part, which I know what the freak offs were, right? I covered that already. Freak offs, these are sex romps that Diddy would have with Cassie, and he would call male escorts to engage in sex with her. A lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, a lot of stuff were at these freak offs. This is probably why Puff had on his towel, because he was engaging in the freak off. Okay? So that's the context of this. Now, during the freak off, he's intoxicated, probably high on drugs too, and attacks Cassie, punching her in the face, giving her a black eye. She's trying to escape, and he is attacking her again and dragging her probably back to the room. That is what he's trying to do. Okay. Allegedly. But we do have the video that corroborates this. We have the video from that time, from that hotel, March 2016 Intercontinental Hotel. That is matching the video that we're seeing right here. March 2016 Intercontinental Hotel, LA, punching her in the face. That's what's happening right there in the video.
Which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance.
She has on one shoe and barefoot on the other shoe. She's trying to escape. You can see right here, there's one shoe on, one shoe off.
Video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her.
So the details in the actual lawsuit are right here in the video. He's throwing the glass vases at her.
In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing.
So you can kind of see what's going on. I don't want to play too much of that because YouTube likes to do what YouTube does. But you get the idea of what's going on. Now, check it out. Puff Daddy's done. I mean, he's finished. And really, I'm not surprised at this because there have been so many rumors and whatnot about him for a long time. The video right there proves it. Some are going to say, well, it could have been mutual. I mean, please. Cassie was getting beat up, and that's what it was. And some are going to say, well, look, why didn't she leave? Well, I think that she was afraid of him legitimately because he has the power to make things go away. We're just now seeing this video. What's this, 8 years later? 8 years later, we're just now seeing the video because of Puff having the power to kind of put the ice on it and not have it come out. The same way that allegedly he blew Kid Cudi's car up. So you guys know or may not know, Kid Cudi is a rapper. And allegedly there was some kind of connection between Kid Cudi and Cassie, some kind of way. It might have been nothing. Okay, it might have been nothing. But, and you know what? And the reason why I know it could have been nothing is because, have you seen Kid Cudi? I'm going to show you a picture of Kid Cudi, okay? If you guys don't know who I'm talking about, this guy is a rapper. And you guys can guess which one of these people I'm putting on the screen. Guess which one of these guys is Kid Cudi. And then that'll pretty much tell you all you got to know right there. All right, that this guy is probably not a threat, okay? So guess which one of these guys on the screen in front of you is Kid Cudi. Guess. Take a wild guess. There's only two guys on the screen, and which guy do you think is a rapper? Okay, it's okay to stereotype. It's totally fine. Which guy's a rapper named Kid Cudi? Now, this guy is a guy that Puff Daddy decided, allegedly, had some kind of connection with Cassie that was inappropriate, and he decided to blow his car up, to actually blow his car up in front of his house. That's an allegation. Now, I don't know if Puff did that or not, but what I do know, I'm not kidding, I'm dead serious. In the wedding dress, that's Kid Cudi. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, that's him. Yep. Now check it out. I don't know if Puff blew his car up. What I do know is that his car did blow up in front of his house. That did happen. And the allegation is that Puff Daddy did it. So if Puff can blow your car up and not go to the penitentiary, there's a level of fear that he can do whatever he wants to do. He's untouchable. That is probably part of the reason why she stayed for so long. Okay. And of course, there's drugs and whatnot involved. There's a whole lot of things happening. All right. So, yeah, he felt threatened by the guy in the wedding dress and decided to blow his car up and didn't get in trouble for it. All right. That's probably part of the reason why she stayed for a long time, although she was getting beat up. All right. So, yeah, I wish Cassie nothing but the best. Hopefully she's able to heal from all of what Puff put her through, allegedly. And Puff, I think he's pretty much done, man. The feds already raided him. There's so much evidence out there. I don't see how he actually makes it through. Put it to you this way. If Puff makes it through all this and comes out on the other side unscathed, then you already know what it is. You already know what it is. Hold on. Tudor says, ABL, back in 2014, I remember Kid Cudi in a dress. That was wild. I thought it was a PR stunt, but I think it's cross-dressing. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, it's not like a Dennis Rodman. This guy was legitimately wearing a dress and holding the other guy's hand. You know what I mean? So I never seen Dennis with a dress and another man on the red carpet. Dennis Rodman would have on the dress with Carmen Electra. That's what Dennis would do. Dennis was just wild like that. He was not on some fruitcake timing. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Texas Mick RC Newt says Cat Williams was right about making it in Hollywood with a dress on. Yep, you see, that's kind of what happens. Put this dress on and then you'll become somebody. That's the whole thing. All right. Now there's some more I want to get to here. There is a lot more. All right, where are we going to go next? I think I want to go. Where do I want to go? Hold on. Oh, I want to get to the truck driver out there in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, remember this situation right here? Remember this with the truck that was like on the edge of the bridge over the Ohio River? I mean, God was on their side that day. The bridge's construction, everything, it just happened perfectly to where this truck did not go over the edge. I got to presume that she was light with no actual load in the back of the vehicle, because if this was a heavy load, I presume it would have just crashed, because all that weight, it would have had to have gone into the water. But God was on their side to not have the vehicle go into the water. Now, let me put up some better footage. That's like a recording of a recording. I don't have to put that up. I could put up better footage. Okay, so what happened was she was on a bridge, okay, in Kentucky, and I'm being told this is a pretty narrow bridge, narrow lane, so it's kind of hard to navigate if you're not familiar. But she's driving. She is not distracted, not on the phone, eyes on the road. The only thing that somebody could say is that she didn't have both hands on the steering wheel, one hand on the steering wheel. Probably kind of sleepy. Not sleepy, I ain't gonna say that. Probably kind of tired, ready to go home after a long day work, right? So she kind of like got her one hand under her chin, other hand on the steering wheel, eyes on the road, just driving, doing her thing, right? And then before she knows it, she's gonna be dangling over the side of the bridge. So hold on, let's back up a little bit. So as we go forward a little bit, you see there's a black pickup truck that's going to come into her lane. Because what happened, there's some cars back here we're going to see in a minute. I think there's 2 cars stopped on the bridge. So what probably happened was the truck was not paying attention, on the phone, something else. And by the way, the guy in the black pickup had a suspended license, of course. He's not paying attention to the cars that are stopped on the bridge. Now, I'm not saying there should be cars stopped on the bridge, but I don't know why they were stopped. Could have been a mechanical failure, could have been an accident, could have been anything. But anyway, he's not paying attention, and he swerves to avoid hitting them. So when he swerves, he is now across the solid double yellow and is about to hit the truck. And this happens so fast, she has a split second to react. Listen, the video from the time I started playing to right now is 5 seconds. 5 seconds from the time I started. And then the situation doesn't happen until, hold on. So 4 seconds, and then right at the 5 second mark, that's when it happens. And we're not at 6 seconds yet before the hit is complete. But before, she's hit within like a split second. God was on the side. So the truck goes over the edge, but it doesn't fall off the edge. It's like dangling on the edge. So Louisville Fire Rescue came out there. Shout out to you guys if you're watching. Great job. They went out there. It took them an hour to get her on a line. It might have had a ladder out there over the edge of the bridge, put a line down, got a rescuer out there, and got her to safety. And now where it took them to get down there because of the situation. And look, now you see the rescue right here. Now you see it's like this piece of the bridge was extended out, and the truck just barely was able to rest on that. A few more inches, the truck would not have hit this piece right here, and it would have been off in the water in the Ohio River. And from that distance to fall down, it would have been devastating. So look at that. Look at the pictures of the rescue. Again, shout out to Louisville Fire Rescue, the police, everybody out there. Wow, imagine that. Imagine that situation. Beautiful view, but terrifying. Beautiful and terrifying all at the same time. So, yeah, now I'm going to kind of go back here. Before, you could see there's 2 cars right there that are stopped. A light colored car and a car that's a little bit darker. Those cars are stopped right there in the right lane. So the person in the black truck was not paying attention. And to avoid hitting those cars, because he probably was in the right lane, he swerves. And rather than staying in the left lane on his side, he goes into oncoming traffic on the other side and goes into the driver's lane. Now, the driver, as you could tell, is turning the steering wheel counterclockwise, trying to go to the right, because she's trying to counteract what's happening to the vehicle. The vehicle gets hit on the left-hand side. Probably the steering column is messed up, is broken, tires punctured. So naturally, the semi-truck was going to go to the left. She was trying to prevent it from happening, but at that point, it was in God's hands. And God had it perfect to where, okay, you're going to be right here on the edge of this bridge architecture, and you're not going to fall. So, yeah, I mean, that ain't nothing but a miracle. A few more inches, it would have been a wrap. She'd have been in the water. And to fall from that height in the truck into the water, to a river, yeah, that's going to be rough. Just like what happened with the situation in Baltimore, where the barge hit the actual bridge and all those guys that were on the bridge working on the potholes, they died. It was like 6, 7 guys. I think one guy survived. So yeah, it would have been pretty rough to live. Definitely. Yep, Final Destination, 100%. So yeah, that was a really crazy thing. The dash cam footage, wild. Like, you can't make anything like that up. That's like a Hollywood movie script for sure. Yeah, it would have been really bad. It would have been really bad if not for everything that happened. Divine intervention, if you don't believe in that, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Here's a different picture of it. Let me see if I can put it up real quick for you guys. A different picture of the situation of the rescue. And you can see the architecture of the bridge. It's this piece right here that's coming out from a column. I guess some kind of, they can like climb on this and work on the bridge. And the truck landed right on it, perfectly on it. And then she's being hoisted up. You see the ladder. The ladder's all the way out. You got a cable connected to, the truck, most likely, and then another cable with the rescuer and the driver. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. So, yeah, definitely a great rescue. Everything just happened perfectly. Well, not perfectly. It was not perfect that he had an accident like that, but luckily she was not harmed. Now, the driver got arrested, and he had, again, a suspended license, so you already know kind of what it is. Yeah, the guy shouldn't have been on the road anyway. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. One thing I want to show you guys right quick. Hold on. Goodfellas. Have you guys ever seen Goodfellas, the movie? I was speaking about Robert De Niro having a meltdown on The View. And I like his movies. I like the early 90s movies that he was in. Casino, Goodfellas. These are great movies. Okay. Sam Rothstein, an amazing character. Amazing character on Casino. Fantastic. Some of the best movies, some of the best moments in film were on Casino. Like, if that comes on TV and I got time, I'm gonna watch it. If it's a Sunday or something like that and they ain't doing nothing, which I'm probably doing something. I'm outside cutting my grass. I'm doing something. But if I happen to be doing nothing and Casino comes on, I'm going to watch it. I've seen that movie probably about 20 times. I've seen that movie more than any. I've seen Casino more than any movie ever. More than Forrest Gump, more than The Matrix, everything. It's unfortunate that Robert De Niro is so woke in his real life, but I compartmentalize. I look at Robert De Niro, the actor, and his characters differently than Robert De Niro, the person. But speaking about Robert De Niro in The View, something else happened. They are putting a trigger warning on Goodfellas. Hold on. I'm see if I can find that right quick. They're putting a trigger warning on Goodfellas because it's too offensive. It's too, I don't know. The cultural references are too much. Hold on. So AMC put a trigger warning on Goodfellas. I commented on Facebook. I said AMC should go get their effing shine box. How about that? Anyway, so check it out. AMC slaps Goodfellas with trigger warning for offensive content that includes cultural stereotypes. So I guess it's about Italians. I guess they're mad about that. I guess that's the whole thing. That's crazy. And a video made by Italians for the whole world, it's offensive. And the copy. New York Post, you guys are always funny with your copy, never change. They're whacking a classic. AMC Networks added a trigger warning to the classic mob movie Goodfellas, rankling those who were in the film and wise guys alike. The film includes language and/or cultural stereotypes that are inconsistent with today's standards of inclusion and tolerance and may offend some viewers. A message reads at the top of the film when screened on the network. Ridiculous. Look, there you go right there. There's trigger warning right there on Goodfellas. Okay, so if you watch the movie on AMC, they're going to put that trigger warning in front of the movie. Do we really need that? Funny how? Like, I'm here to amuse you like a clown? How am I funny, huh? No, Anthony, he's a big boy, can take care of himself. He's a big boy. Tell me, how am I funny? Funny how? So, yeah. And even the cartoon parody with the pigeons, classic. On the Animaniacs back in the day, man, classic. All right. The warning was first affixed to the movie during the height of Black Lives Matter riots, when many businesses and cultural institutions made avoiding offenses to various groups a core part of their missions. Disney has made a cottage industry of affixing warnings to their century-long I know I can't pronounce that. I don't read French very well, of content. In 2020, we began adding advisories in front of certain films that include racial or cultural references that some viewers may find offensive. So, I don't know, man. I think maybe there was an N-word in there by Joe Pesci, but who cares? Like, it wasn't even nothing, man. It's nothing. I think maybe the Italian references, maybe the food they were eating, maybe their grandma. I don't know what the problem is. Okay, hold on. Somebody says in the article, Michael Francesi, one-time captain of the Colombo crime family, said he was amused by the note. We don't need anyone protecting mob guys. Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Paul Sorvino, Joe Pesci, everybody. All the Italian movies, The Godfather, Casino, everything. Carlito's Way, the whole situation. Bronx Tale was great. Yes, absolutely. Yep. Shout out to Colosimo, all these guys. Amazing. And the Bronx Tale was great because of the father-son dynamic, but it was like you got the family guy driving the buses, and then you have the mob guy and the flashy life. It was great. Then you had the racial element of, East New York, and then you got, what was that, Brooklyn or wherever the Italians were? I'm not sure where they were. It was great. And then within the racial stuff, it wasn't just black and white. It was like different ethnic groups, because there was one part in Bronx Tale. They were in the Bronx. That's right. Pardon me. I'm tripping. The Bronx. They were in the Bronx. One part in the Bronx Tale, some biker guys came to the neighborhood and were acting crazy, and they got beat up by the whole neighborhood, the Italian guys on these biker guys who were not Italian. So you have the Italian and the Irish and this group and that group and the blacks, and it was good. It was really good to see that in the movie, where it wasn't just this, I'm black, you're white trope. It was a little bit deeper than that. It was a good cultural piece, a good timepiece, and it was good to see ethnic differences and cultural clashes in the movie. It was good. It was good. Yeah, shout out to the guy who played Colosimo. He wound up getting locked up for some drugs and stuff like that. It was a mess. All right. But anyway, I keep on going. If you like what you're hearing so far, please get it. Yeah, thank you, Griselda. Chaz Palminteri, he played Colosimo in the movie. Also, Terrell Hicks played his love interest, and she was also in Belly, which is a whole different story. And I digress. Yeah, R.I.P. Ray Liotta. R.I.P. to the big homie. Yes. R.I.P. Ray Liotta. Those are all good movies, man. Shout out to the Italians. You guys are great. You guys are funny. Got great food, just good people all the way around. I got to go to Italy and go back to your old country, but I don't want to see no migrants though. I ain't trying to look. Hold on, I got a video before I get to I don't want to go to Italy and see stuff like this, right? Hey, ABL, where is this? Paris, France. Paris, France. Paris. Yes, Paris. Look, man, when in Rome, do as the Romans. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Nigeria. This ain't Ghana, Burkina Faso. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no Francophone country in Africa, man. Come on and do what they do over here where you at. If I go to Burkina Faso, parlez-vous français, and be out there with the dashiki and all that, I'll do what you guys do. Now, if I'm in France, it's a little bit different. But then again, you in Paris. Paris been kind of trash for a long time, because that was the whole point. They took the leadership in send them all the way out to Versailles and let the Parisians kind of wallow in misery. But anyway, I don't want to get too deep, but I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. But first, let's check out some super chats. Take it to Love, Live, Serve, who says, yo, ABL, should I ask out an ex-coworker, even if a mutual friend is questioning on her? I'm leaning toward shooting my shot. Hashtag tough luck arc. Well, when you say crushing on her, what does that mean? Do they have a history already? Have they already been together? Like, what's going on? I'll say go ahead. But if it's going to cause a complication with your friend, that might not be a good idea. How good of friends are you? Are you guys like road dogs, hanging out every day? Or do you just know somebody and they also like the same person? I say go for it. Ex-coach, they're not at your job anymore. You guys don't work together, so it's not going to compromise your job. Only thing that might cause an issue with is your friendship. But if you and the friend are not that good of friends, go ahead. It ain't that big of a deal. You got to ask yourself that question. All right. Shout out to John Sanabria, who says, to the African. Shout out to Michael Guest, who says, it's not the teacher's fault. It's the school boards that's taking handwriting out of the curriculum. That's correct. Yeah. Shout out to Lothair, who says, heck, I can still write cursive under the influence. Thank you. That is Kane Sword for gifting 5 ABL memberships. Appreciation for that one. Thank you to Jason Dugdale. And I know it's her name, man. I'm sorry. Who says, this is happening all over the UK. Stabbings and shootings. This is a country that has the most law on gun control. Really unfortunate. All right. Let's get to some calls here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. There's also an email for Skype in the description. And if it doesn't work right, don't blame me. Blame the white man because it ain't my fault. Let's go ahead and get rocking. Again, the number to call, 434-658-1220. And let me see. Somebody says, when in doubt, ask her out. Yeah, for sure. All right. Y'all give me a second. Let me get my sound together. And that should do. You want to speak it to 470? You're on the line.
I believe in free and fair elections and the right to vote fairly and have your vote counted. There's something dangerous happening in America.
Hey, ABL.
What's going on?
Hey, man, it's Greg from Wild and Wacky Land. How'd you like hearing that?
That was good. Very good one.
Yeah, that's Biden from about 4 months ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, being such a hypocrite.
Of course, as always.
3.5 years ago. Oh, my God. So anyway, I'm really enjoying the support for Trump getting bigger and bigger, and I'm feeling more confident and happier, especially since I quit my job last Thursday night at 11:50 on May 16th. I feel so good after quitting that place after 15 years and 7 months and 2 weeks.
Wow, that's a big step, man. Congrats on that.
Thank you. I haven't felt this good since the day before I started this job on October 8th of 2008.
Wow.
So, it's been life-changing. I can't wait. I'm trying to sell my condo. It's been on the market since May 9th, so I don't have to worry about money. All set up. And once I sell my condo, buy a cheaper condo, I'm going to have enough money to where I don't have to work for a very long time.
Amazing.
Very long time. So, yeah, I'm not worried about that. Anyway, you were talking about some building that was, they changed the name because of, I think somebody was a slave owner or something. I'm sorry, I was distracted. I was working on my computer. We were talking about this about an hour ago.
Oh,
what was this in reference to?
This was the brewery. It's called Faubourg, but before it was called Dixie Brewing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, well, the reason why I asked is because my brother, I spent a lot of my growing up years, almost 13 years in Marietta, back in the 70s and 80s. And my brother went to Marietta, school in Marietta called Wheeler High School. Well, Joseph Wheeler was a Confederate officer during the Civil War, and he owned a lot of slaves. So in July of 2020, the school decided that they wanted to stop using his name and change the name of the school. And they decided, I think it was about a year or so ago, that they weren't going to change the name.
Okay.
And I saw a video on YouTube just about a week or so ago of this black lady and this Indian little black girl and this Indian girl saying, "Oh, we need to change the name because he owns slaves and everything like that." Blah blah blah. I'm thinking, yeah, and you're going to vote Democrat when you hit 18. So which makes no sense,
right?
Because the Democrats own slaves,
right? Of course.
Yeah, it's like shooting yourself in the foot,
Right.
So it's just really asinine. So I don't know. I mean, who has all the time to look up all this stuff to find out what the name of a person that owned that is named after a library or a school or whatever, a college, owned slaves 155, 160 years ago. I mean, this is BS. I mean, Rush Limbaugh said in 2021. He said in 2015, right after the guy in South Carolina that shot up a black church. Remember, he killed about 12 people.
Yeah.
Dylan Roof. Yeah, in July, I think it was like June of 2015, if I'm not mistaken. He said, "You watch. One day they're going to call it the American flag racist," and that's what they did 3 years ago in 2021.
Sure
They're
did.
called the American flag racist.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, I mean, where does this end? I mean, Wheeler High School was built in 1965, 100 years after the Civil War. I mean, they shouldn't have named it after a guy that owned slaves then. But, I mean, is it really that important to the point where I have to go back and change the names of schools and institutions and military bases 150 years later because some guy happened to own slaves way back in the 1860s? You see my point?
Right, I got you.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. That's all I want to say. Anyway, so we have 171 days till November 5th. Just want to say I'm still Ultra MAGA, Trump 2024, and God bless America. I really appreciate what you do, and keep it up, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
And have a great night.
No problem.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
All right, shout out, man, for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's go to 860. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 860. Hello. Going once. Going twice. All right. Hopefully it wasn't me. But shout out to my man for the call. Certainly appreciate him. And shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Could not do the show without y'all. All right, let's try 860 again. 860, hello. Can you hear me? 860, hello. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your phone. Like, I'm hearing static, but I can't hear you talking, so I don't know what's happening. Like, let's get the Obama phone refreshed. All right, shout out to you guys. Hopefully that's not Skype acting up because Skype loves to act up. Yes, hopefully it's just not that. But beyond that, I can't do nothing for you. And if you could hear me, 860, when you're calling, I cannot hear you. I don't know what's going on. It's not me. Can you hear me, 860? Hello? Hello? Nope. It's your phone, boss. Like, put some minutes on there by my phone. Let's get that refreshed. And let's go ahead and get it. Let's get it together. All right. Shout out to you guys, though, for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Let's go. 734 to the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, this is Regina. I'm calling from Michigan.
All righty. How are you?
How good, ABL. Thank you. I just want to give a little bit of input on about that professor that gave that that speech at the college.
Yes.
And I don't know why people just can't mind their own business and go about their business. I don't understand that. I mean, statements like that are offensive to some people, they just need to be ignored. I mean, I'm sure there were women in that group that were interested in their careers, and there were probably some that are looking forward to getting married. And why that's offensive to somebody, I mean, it's okay, it can be offensive, but just go about your business. Just go about your business. Don't be worried about what everybody else is thinking, these pronouns and all this other stuff that they expect from people. You know what? I just ignore it anymore. I don't even take it serious. I just move on. So that's it.
Right on. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, BL. Bye.
Great call, but they don't really want to ignore because they want things to go their way. So their viewpoint is, I'm going to make you acquiesce to me and my philosophy. I ain't going to just ignore you because that's not enough. I got to go out there. I have to squash you. I have to squash this religion. I got to squash your ideology. That's how they operate. Okay, that's the main thing, because ultimately they want to replace whatever we've been able to bring to the table. That's kind of how that goes. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff to help me out tremendously. And shout out to you guys for watching. Yeah. You gotta keep on, you gotta keep a foot on the gas. You can't just, you gotta stick to your guns. Don't let up. Always, whatever your convictions are, stick with it. Because once you give up your convictions, that's when the other side brings in theirs. All right, let's try this one more time. 860, hello.
Hey, Anthony, can you hear me?
I hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. This is F&A Ranger Xbox. I don't know what was going on. I did a hard restart on my phone.
Okay.
But, I hear you now, brother.
Right on.
So, awesome. Can I explain the Robert De Niro insane rage to everybody?
Sure.
And please, prove me wrong. That's all I ask. Just prove me wrong. Robert De Niro got involved with some high-end investors, and they decided to, down in the Caribbean on this little tiny island of Burundi or something like that. I don't remember the exact name, but it starts with a B, ends with an I. And they screwed the locals out of their land by bribing the local officials into changing tax laws and stuff like this. So they got this, they're building this ultra-rich resort. Now, I'm not saying it's another Epstein-style thing, but this is for the ultra-rich, not just the, run-of-the-mill trash millionaires. So anyway, a hurricane came through there and blew the place apart and caused tens of thousands, millions of dollars worth of damage. And Robert De Niro thought that Trump should fix that resort. And Trump said, no, that's not what American tax dollars are for. And Robert De Niro, ever since then, has went ballistically enraged, and they hid that story, but you can find it if you change your search phrases of what you're going to look for. Anyway, I thought I'd just explain that to you, and I'll end with that, ABL. And I appreciate your patience and your persistence on getting me through tonight. That's a can-do attitude, bud, like Toe Mater says. You have a good one, brother. Good night. God bless America. Love the show, brother. Take care.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm glad we get on through. It was just sometimes our phones don't want to operate properly. They want to do their own thing. That planned obsolescence type thing going on. I mean, like I have an iPhone, what is it? A 13. And I feel like at a certain point it's going to start to kind of act crazy, even though I take very good care of my electronics. I know how to take care of electronics very well. I'm a big electronic carer, if that's the proper word. You know, I don't beat my electronics up. I can repair things easily. So, but I can already tell at a certain point they're going to do some kind of software update that's going to make my device operate poorly. They already do certain things with your phone anyway. They do certain things like at one point you could get an SD card and expand your storage. Like in the same port where there'd be room for your SIM card, there could be like, okay, it'd be your SIM card on one slot and the SD card on the other slot. But they just took that whole thing out. So you can't even do that anymore. You got to just buy the phone with more storage. It's the same phone. All they did was just make you pay $200 or whatever it is for more storage. But the purpose of them doing that is for them to make you get a subscription to the iCloud or whatever kind of service you use to have more storage. Because the logic is, okay, rather than paying this $200 more up front or having a higher bill for X amount, I can just pay them a subscription. That's how they get you. And then they'll say, well, okay, you want some more storage on your phone? You want to be able to play games and stuff like that? Okay, now you got to up your subscription. And don't you know with your script, you can get a free 3-month trial of X, Y, and Z with your subscription. So get a free 3-month trial, and we're going to put you on auto renew. So then after 4 months, you're going to forget about it, and we're going to charge you for $15. That's how they do. It's all a game. I hate it. Just give me a device that works, that I can upgrade, that I can do whatever I want. Yeah, Chris, no, and they're replacing the battery. See, this is why I was so I was so dead set on not relinquishing my BlackBerry for so long. The old school BlackBerry, you could replace the battery, you could upgrade your storage, you could do all of that. It wasn't all this extra stuff. We're here, batteries inside, you can't fix that. Storage inside, you can't fix that. You got to get a subscription or you got to spend more money. It's a mess. It's a mess. That's how they make money. That's right, Beanie. That's how they make money. And then, of course, they make your phone over in some, sweatshop in China. Like I said, you got one guy sitting there. You got one guy sitting in his little desk doing this all day, just one repetitive motion all day long. Okay, and that's right, runner's high. Micro SD, very cheap. Yeah, you can get a micro SD card with so much space on it, so much storage. It's just, you could pop it into your phone and you good. Now you get extra storage. You could do that with these game systems, but you can't do that with your phone. Although it's the same type of architecture, really, in the phone versus a game system, like a handheld game, like a Steam Deck or a Nintendo Switch. It's the same thing in your phone. Basically, they're like just phones made for gaming at that point, but they have expandable storage, which your phone doesn't. Older phones, you had the headphone jack. Well, that's something else too. Okay, so there's no headphone jack. There's no expandable storage. You have to buy the storage when you get the phone, and then you got to expand it by getting a subscription. And then there's no headphone jack because why? Oh, get our iPhone iPods for $1,000. It's like, nah, can I just use my regular headphones with the cord? Nah, you can't do that. You can't do that. And then the Bluetooth connection is not that stable all the time. It's a mess. Anyway, I'm reading some of the comments right here. And the number to call, 434-658-1220. Doc Jeff 2020 says, I got the major screw job from AT&T. Told me I can get my phone overnight and save $30 if I'd add another number. Then I could delete it after 90 days. Come to find out, I have to delete my original number. Yeah, exactly. That's how they do. Yep. Because it's all about just trying to get you, make that sale happen. They got you in there, and then you're good. Dr. Jeff says, now my bill is $197 for one phone and a line I've never used. That's crazy. That's totally crazy. Yeah, and the new iPhone 15 has new chargers because they got sued by Europe, I think. That was the whole thing. They had the Lightning adapter, which I still have, the Lightning adapter, and then they made them change it to USB-C, which really it should have been USB-C from the beginning, but they make it Lightning so they can make all these proprietary things with it. I hate it. Like, USB-C is better, in my opinion. It's more universal because with chargers and all your accessories, it easily goes with it. USB-C is going to power up your regular Android devices, your game system things, any kind of speakers, all kind of stuff. They're pretty much going to use USB-C. It's pretty much universal. Okay, it's universal. Laptops, I have Microsoft Surface Pro, USB-C. And the funny part is, even the Apple laptops, before the EU made them change it, was USB-C to charge. Okay, so it's dumb. It's just so dumb. Yeah, Apple, the only reason why I have Apple is because of friends and family, them using Apple. Beyond that, I would not use Apple for my phone. I have my Samsung Galaxy S22. Love it. Love it. 443, you know who I'm speaking to.
Hey, Anthony, this is Joe. I'm calling because I was wanted to talk about that bridge crash, about the girl that was driving, she dangling off the bridge. I just wanted to kind of give you some context to that story a little bit. It's nothing major. It's just that she wasn't empty. Like, she didn't she had stuff in the back of that truck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because just the way she was going, because she was going away from the company that where the company she works for is in Louisville, and where she was going the other way, so she had to have food in the bag. Anyway, her dangling off the bridge like that isn't as amazing as you might think. You could have had 2 trucks hanging from that bridge, and it would have been fine. The structure of those trailers is built in such a way it can handle twice the stress. It just so happened she was lucky the way that she fell off of the bridge, that it caught on the tandems of the trailer. It's unfortunate that she, that I'm gonna try to keep it clean. That driver, whoever it was, it's unfortunate we have to put up with that every single day. There's always people out there to do that. There's only one thing, that dash cam footage, when she struck that vehicle, she messed up. Drivers are trained to hold the wheel going straight. You do not swerve at all. I know, like, you hit something and the truck jarred and everything, but as a driver, you do not, you're not supposed to swerve the wheel at all. That's, like, more dangerous than actually hitting something. Because when you swerve, the obvious thing happens. You run off of a bridge, you run off of the road, you destroy everything else other than staying on the road. So, as far as I know, she was a young driver. She'd only been driving for like 2 years or something like that. So, it happens.
So was it a swerve? Because it looks like the truck hit her, and then after that, she just was trying to turn the wheel the other direction. But there was no swerving because hold on. Yeah. Because as soon as she got hit, I mean, she reacted as soon as she got hit, but it wasn't before that. So then after the hit, it was she's trying to go to the other direction. So I didn't see the swerve actually.
Well, when you're looking at it's kind of hard not to be able to like look at it while I'm talking or anything. But when she hits the vehicle and she's jostling back and forth, that's not her controlling the vehicle. All right, that's her being flung around the cab of the truck, and her hands are just holding on to the wheel. Okay, and while she's doing that, she's moving the wheel back and forth. That's swerving. You're supposed to keep the wheel steady. In fact, she hit that pickup truck. All right, that pickup truck. I'll give it some. Exaggerate the weight of that truck a little bit and say it's up to 3,000 pounds. That tractor and trailer empty is 30,000 pounds minimum. If you've got weight in the trailer, if you've got a full trailer, you're up to 80,000 pounds. That's 40 tons of vehicle. You run right through that truck. Now, she wasn't paying attention. She's just everyday driving. I mean, everybody gets a little lazy behind the wheel a little bit, but I mean, you saw she was driving with one hand, you know, and at the very last second had to put her hand on the wheel. She wasn't prepared, and I don't want to sit here and blame her or you know, say she was at fault. She's not. That dumb driver, you know, put her in a situation, but you could tell just by watching it. At least for myself, I'm a driver as well. I've been doing this. I've trained drivers. It's something that we all kind of have to acknowledge. Like, you have to get over that fear and know exactly how to handle it in the situation. And a lot of drivers fail. So I just wanted to kind of add some context to it, because it was a tricky accident, and I actually kind of blame the company a little bit that she works for, because that specific bridge there in Louisville, all right, there's two bridges right next to each other. There's the Kennedy Bridge, and then there's the Clark Bridge. And she was going across that old-ass Clark Bridge. And she was going over that Clark Bridge for a reason. There ain't no tolls across that Clark Bridge. Yeah, if you go across the Kennedy Bridge, it costs the company, you know, tolls. So it costs them money.
Right, I got you. Thank you for your call, man. I definitely appreciate
you. Know what I'm saying?
I got you. Thank you for your call.
Thanks, ABL.
All right, shout out to the caller. So, yeah, he basically saying it's two bridges. Maybe the other bridge, newer, nicer, better lanes, easier to navigate, but it got a toll. And the other one, no toll, but narrow lanes, everything else. I think what happened was when she got hit, she couldn't do anything. She had no power to be able to move the actual vehicle, because it was like a split second, because the truck was the truck swerved. The pickup truck swerved into her lane. She's going straight, the pickup truck swerves into her lane, hits her, and then the way that he hit her probably made the steering column break, and it drove the vehicle that direction. She's trying to move the wheel to control the vehicle after it got hit, because naturally the vehicle's going to go in the direction that it got hit because of the way that the truck is. She's trying to turn the wheel to the right, but it's not working because the truck are going to go that way, because that's where it got hit. That's what I saw in the clip. Maybe you guys know differently. I'm not a truck driver, so maybe I'm just speaking out of ignorance, but that's kind of what it looked like to me. You know, but I do the point about the bridge she was on, it makes a lot of sense, because okay, let's save some money. Let's not get a toll and have to pay that bill, go across the old bridge and don't pay that toll. Maybe that was the thing. Yeah, physics. Exactly. Because the pickup truck, it just, she couldn't avoid it. It hit her dead on out of nowhere. It's like getting hit with a bird. You know, how can you really avoid that? Because it hits you just boom. You have no time to react. You just got hit. Corridor says, definitely a bridge over troubled waters. Yes, a bridge over troubled waters, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, and that was the main thing was those cars that were on the bridge stopped because I don't know what the cars are doing on the bridge stopped. I don't know why that was the case with the bridge. The cars were on the bridge stopped, and then the car that crashed into the truck, the pickup truck that crashed into the semi truck was trying to avoid those cars because they were not paying attention. Last minute, okay, now all of a sudden I see these vehicles and I got to get out of the way. Okay, that's kind of what went on right there. All right. Now, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, or sometimes it could be a deer. Yeah, well, a deer sometimes you can avoid, but sometimes you can't. All right. What song am I playing? Xanax Cane Sword? Yeah, being on the bridge at the same time, seeing that would be crazy. It'd be totally nuts. Philip says, if you were that woman, would you ever get in trouble again? I mean, accidents happen. I think it might be kind of traumatizing to have that kind of accident happen. That's not a regular everyday accident. It's not like a fender bender or something like that. You're talking about you almost lost your life. So I don't know. It depends. If she did not get in a truck again, I wouldn't really be surprised. I wouldn't be like, oh, wow, get in the truck. I would understand totally. But then again, you could just kind of compartmentalize and maybe just take a little while to yourself and get back on the road. Yeah. I think I would do it, at a certain point. It just depends. It depends on how that accident affected me. Yeah. Now, I've been on an accident on the bridge before, but it wasn't really that bad. It wasn't like I'm about to be off the side of the bridge. It wasn't anything like that. But I was in an accident where I got rear-ended and they busted out my whole back window. So this time I had a 96 RAV4. This was my first car. 1996 RAV4. My dad had that car at first, and then when I turned 16, he gave it to me. So I had the car. And I'm probably about 19, 20. I'm going to TCC in Chesapeake and had to cross. This is before they had the Veterans Bridge out there, if you know what I'm talking about, in that area. They had the drawbridge. And I think the draw was getting ready to go up or something. So everybody got to slow down. So I'm slowing down. I'm hitting my brakes, and somebody's not paying attention, and they crash in the back of me. Now, it wasn't that bad, but the old RAV4s, they had the same way it is now, the door with the tire on the back, and you open the back door like this, like a regular house door, kind of, if you understand what I'm saying. But anyway, it's some glass right there. When it hit my back, it just shattered all my glass. Yeah, it was a mess. I took it to a body shop, and they kind of jerry-rigged it. And my door just automatically just pop open sometimes on a highway. It was a mess. Imagine you be on the road driving, somebody tailgating you, and then your back door flies open, hits their car. Who would be at fault for that? Now, luckily, that never took place when I was on the road, but it came kind of close to that happening. Anyway, let's keep on rocking. 859, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, how you doing? What's up? It's your Luciferian Libertarian friend. How's it going? Hey. I'm going to ask you a question, but it's kind of a long-winded question. I'm just really concerned about our future, this country. I think we're going down a dark path, and I think the rise of socialism and this whole woke cult is becoming worse and worse and worse. And I think it's because of the military. I think it's because of the billionaires' fault, because they capitalized it as a market thing, and I think it's going to bite them on the ass eventually.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
And they give into this. All these corporations, they have all the rainbow flags, and me personally, when somebody tries to celebrate my personal life, that's kind of creepy to me. That's just my personal thing. But my philosophy is Iran philosophy. Very kind of pro-capitalist. Capitalism does fix a lot of things. There's some bad sides, there's some good sides of this. But unfortunately, thanks to these billionaires who who panders to these socialists and this woke cult. I mean, so extreme to the point that they make Stalin look like a reasonable man in comparison of today's Marxists. And if like somebody like Jeff Bezos and his attitude towards people, he has no class, and he probably wonders why there's more socialists and communists. Well, the end result is when you have a class of the 1% not having morals, you're going to get that in return, and I'm afraid of that because that'd be an economic decline in our future.
Right, absolutely.
And my question is, how do we? I'm about to get off here soon because there's a customer coming. Sorry about that. But my question is, what's the best way we can fix this problem?
I mean, that's going to be.
Hey, I gotta talk to you later.
All right, go ahead, man. Thanks for the call.
I gotta do it. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, man, I don't know how to answer that, man. That's kind of a long answer. That might take a lot of time to be able to figure out. So I don't really have that answer. So yeah, man, it's a lot, man. I always say it before. It's going to take all of us to kind of just work together and do what we got to do to make things better. Just regular people, regular normies coming together, making things happen. 504, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. It's been a while since I've called in. All right. So, yeah, today I was working on fixing the toilet, and there was this thing in it. I forgot what it's called. It's like it brings the water in. It was having a problem, so
a plunger.
I replaced it. Yeah, thank you. The plunger. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and my grandpa helped me out, and that was interesting. I learned some new things today, and also I liked the topics, and God really helped that lady that nearly drove off the bridge.
Oh yeah, definitely. She was definitely in dire straits.
Yeah, and also I liked the conversation you were talking a little bit before about the phones, because I remember when I was a kid, I would see the adults, they would have the Blackberries, and I thought those phones were so interesting. And now we have all these smartphones and stuff, those are nice. But yeah, it seems like you could tweak it a little bit more, if that's the right word, than some of the stuff they have now.
Yeah, it's like that across the board, especially with Apple devices, with their computers and everything. It's like they have everything to where you can't fix it, where you got to take it to the Genius Bar and pay them a bunch of money, or you got to go get a new one. That's like, and it's bringing back the whole thing of planned obsolescence. They make things at a certain point just not work anymore or not work properly, so you got to go get a new one.
Right, and also I've looked online, and I was looking while you were talking about it, and they do sell refurbished ones, and in my opinion, that would be an interesting thing to for me to have, because I remember I used to see those, and I wouldn't mind tweaking with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So basically, with Diddy, yeah, he seems like an animal, because I'm seeing all this stuff that's coming out. I'd say a savage. All that stuff that's coming out about him in the video you showed. And certainly, he's in for a really harsh time, in prison for what he's doing. And I'm sure the lawyers and stuff will try to twist things around. But, in my opinion, I think that he's finished.
Yeah, he's toast. I don't think he could come back from this. I think it's pretty much a done deal. Because the video is bad. It's terrible. And then all the other allegations that kind of line up with the video is pretty much a done deal.
Right. And, something is I remember when I was watching it and just seeing how he went and attacked her, and he has no control over his emotions, and he seems very impulsive. And, I think it's good for people, we've talked about before with different things, people be too emotional and they'll think with emotion. I think it's better for people to be more logical about things and not do stuff like what he did.
Absolutely. Right on.
Yeah. And I think, people are being, are influenced by greed and power. That's what he was like. And a lot of the politicians and stuff, are doing that these days with our, the West and stuff. I think a lot of people nowadays have been influenced by that stuff.
Right.
Okay, ABL, that's all I have to say for this call. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right, great call. Shout out to my man for the call. And shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, so I said plunger. I meant to say the flapper, like the inside, like the valve that regulates the water coming into the tank. Is it the flushometer? The flushometer vodka, MIT? Yeah, but nah, that's a flapper, like the inside, the little thing in there. When you hear the toilet running and it's not stopping after a certain point, you got to fix that valve because you might have a faulty seal that's leaking water out of the tank into your actual toilet bowl. But yeah, shout out to you guys, though. I appreciate you. Is there more types than the one that I mentioned? I suppose so. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's a retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for taking my call. You know, ABL, that woman from Ecuador that wants to go back to Ecuador, that had it all wrong about how America was. It got me thinking that, I don't know how many would actually go back voluntarily, but it would be a lot cheaper than hunting them down and doing all these other things just to offer them, listen, we'll get you back to your country. If you want to go, this is your chance to go back to your country. We'll get you back there. And it'd be a lot cheaper, but I doubt if that many people would take anybody up on that. If, like, Trump, eventually won, instead of Trump trying to hunt people down and put them in some kind of whatever holding place, just to offer them to go back to their country, and we'll pay for that. It's kind of like what people do when they have a bad tenant in their building, and they get cash for keys. Here's a few $100, go on your way, and you're free of them. But I don't think it would really matter. I don't think it would make a big dent. And then, we'd be able to track down some of the people that are actually getting money from our government. We might be able to track them down, but I don't think that's the majority of the people that are here anyway. I think they're here to stay. And then the other thing I want to talk about, ABL, was Kim Fox. What she's saying there is they know that these minor traffic stops, these mistakes that these guys make in the neighborhood, lead to other things and other major crimes. When you start stopping people and then, going from there and asking questions, and next thing you know, you might have something. And she wants to, she doesn't want to prosecute those cases. And she wants to actually make a law where it makes it that it's against the law for me to do that. But then they give themselves an escape clause, which is to say that she said, unless the public, how did they phrase it? The public safety is, I forget exactly how she phrased it. Unless the public safety is at stake or whatever she said. And that's their escape clause in case, you make a traffic stop and the next thing you know, there's a dead body in the trunk, which happens more often than you might think. Then they have that escape clause like, oh, well, we didn't mean a case like this. Any heater case that's in the news that might get people to realize, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't work. That's their escape clause for that. So, once again, just making the police not want to do anything. And that's what they do. They take away a little more of your power, a little more of your power, a little more of your power. And the next thing you don't have to hold the crime. Because crime, they don't stick by the rules. Criminals don't stick by the rules. So you have to have some leeway to catch these people and change your society, and it's not. And people like Kim Fox put up these barricades, to stumble over. You end up not having any effective police force whatsoever, and there's your results. Anyway, ABL, thanks for taking my call, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Great call as always. Yeah. And it's like, why do you want the police to stop doing things? It's so weird. This whole defund the police. Like, it's like, okay, the defund the police thing was a trend for a while. I guess it was a cool thing, the hot thing for a while. But really, at a certain point, they should just stop that. They should just, just cut it out. Cut it out. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. That will be a wrap for me tonight. I'll be back, same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. But I'm here every day pretty much, except for Sunday for the most part, putting out pre-recorded content. So you guys, if you're not subscribed, I know you guys are subscribed already, but if you're not, for the first time you're watching, go ahead and subscribe to me right now. And matter of fact, double check to see if you are still subscribed, because I've heard about that happening too. People getting unsubscribed. So double check on that. And also please subscribe to the new channel, Uncle ABL. I'm going to spam it right now in the chat, but of course the link will always be in the description, Uncle ABL. We're talking about other kind of things on there, more relationship type stuff, nutrition stuff. And I'm still going to do that video. I've been crafting it. It might be a short or a longer video. I'm going to show you guys and I tested this recently. I went to McDonald's and I got a chicken sandwich, a spicy deluxe with the medium fry. It came to $8.83, and I priced how much a healthy meal would be as an alternative with more calories and more nutrition. The chicken, broccoli, and rice combo. Listen, I priced it, but I'm going to show you guys in the video on that channel. I'm going to show you guys all the ingredients and how much everything is with evidence. A pack of chicken thighs, $10. Some broccoli, like 2 stalks of broccoli together, that's $3. Those minute rices, but you can get regular bag rice, but we're cavemen a little bit. I'm a caveman at least, so it's easy. The minute rices is $2. So 10 plus 3 plus 2, 15. Divide that by 2 because that's enough for 2 meals. That's $7.50. So you can get chicken, rice, and broccoli, nice and nutritious, home cooked, very healthy for $7.50. Or you can go to McDonald's and get a chicken sandwich and a medium fry with no vegetable at all, except for the lettuce that might be on a chicken sandwich at best. You get a thin piece of romaine with no nutritional value for almost $9. So which one is it? So whenever anybody says, hey, ABL, eating healthy is expensive, that's not true. That is simply not true, because what are you comparing it to? Are we eating from the garbage can? Like, what's happening? You go to McDonald's, you go to Chick-fil-A, and definitely not Chick-fil-A. Listen, if I see y'all in a Chick-fil-A drive-thru talking about it's easier, it's cheaper to eat at Chick-fil-A than it is to eat quote-unquote healthy, I'm going to just call the bluff on that one. But anyway, I'm going to do a video on a new channel for that particular thing. But let's get super chats right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. And shout out to the mods and everybody keeping the troll in check. And shout out to you guys for watching, retweeting, super chat, and whatever you do. I couldn't do the show without you. All right. You're right, Faithless. Buy it. Real rice is far cheaper. I could do that too. I could just show you the real rice. That's even better. I can show you the real rice, like a bag of rice. If they still have Uncle Ben's or whatever's out there, a bag of jasmine rice, some broccoli, and a chicken. Then it might be like $6.50. Depending upon how much the rice is and depending on how you're going to calculate it, it'd be a lot cheaper. All you got to do is get a bowl of water, a pot of water, put it on the stove, put the rice in there, and you get money. But shout out to Ryan Walker, who says, did you see Governor Abbott pardon Daniel Perry in the 2020 Austin, Texas BLM shooting? I did see that. Shout out to the governor doing the right thing. Now we got to get Daniel Penny out of that who's goo up there in New York. Thank you to Zenetus Kane Sword, who says Anthony Victor Davis Hanson has a new book out. In the book, he made a case study comparing modern Western society to the Phoenicians, i.e. Carthage especially. Great empires have been wiped out. history truly is written by the winners. Absolutely, 100%. It's always like that, and I hope that that does not happen to us, that we don't just get washed away. I hope not, but it doesn't look really that good for us. Okay, that will be a wrap for me. You guys are the best, but I'll be back live again on Wednesday here every day, putting out pre-recorded content. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.